Chapter 164. Li Chang did not expect that the people who did business here were so supportive of the Wang family's zhuangzi. In order to find out if they really did not collect taxes, he went elsewhere to get something to sell. After changing his clothes, he carried 2 baskets of spinach and placed them there. Regardless of how many people were around, he started to shout, "Spinach! Spinach for sale! 2 caddies of fresh spinach for 1 copper coin." After shouting a few times, the people around him gathered. They all looked at him with uncomfortable eyes. Some even shook their heads, but no one was willing to buy. "Auntie, buy some spinach. It's cheap, 2 caddies for 1 copper coin." Seeing that no one was buying, Li Cheng took the initiative to call a customer. When he saw an old woman come over, he said it was cheap. The auntie curled her lips and muttered, "Why is such a good young man so greedy? 2 caddies for 1 copper coin. Wait to be driven away." Her voice was not loud, but Li Cheng still heard it. He did not understand why the auntie said he was greedy. Was the price too high? No, when he bought it, it was only 1 copper coin for 2 caddies. He also paid the taxi fare. He was not stupid enough to bring it here himself. He hired a few carriages and came here to pick it up. Just when he was puzzled, a voice came from the side. "Young Master Li has nothing to do, so you came here to have fun. Why don't you have some tea? It's my treat. Why lie? For young Master Li's sake, I won't drive you away today. Young Master Li, please." Li Chang looked up and saw a man wearing a coarse cloth shirt standing next to him and looking at him. "How do you know me? Who are you?" Li Qing asked in confusion. "Young Master Li is a noble. Naturally you don't know me, but I can't not know you. You are the manager of the Li family's zhuangzi. With such a noble identity, you actually came here to sell spinach. I think your spinach is a little small and yellow. Is it from the Li family's zhuangzi? The spinach there is better than this one. It's priced at 1 copper coin for 3 caddies. Did young Master Li go to a faraway place to buy expensive spinach to sell? If I had known that young Master Li would be like this, I would have sold it to young Master Li. Oh, my name is Ergo, and I'm in charge of setting the price of this market. If you want to sell your spinach, that's easy. 5 caddies for 1 copper coin." Although Ergo was speaking politely, his expression wasn't polite at all. He didn't know where Li Chang had gotten the spinach. Not to mention the small ones, perhaps they were tender spinach. But this spinach had already turned yellow, and he still dared to sell it for 1 copper coin for 2 caddies. As for how he knew about Li Cheng, of course it was someone who told him about it. Some of the influential people in Zhuangzi had people who specialized in collecting things and telling them to do business, including the shop assistant between the clouds and the water. He would get a piece of paper with a portrait on it, and he had to remember the important people in the vicinity. How could Li Ching know about this? He looked at his spinach, then stood up and looked at the spinach being sold by others. He frowned and felt that the price was indeed not good enough. The seller was selling for 1 copper coin for 3 caddies. From time to time they would sprinkle some water on the green leaves to make them look fresher. Some people who bought the spinach even deducted some water from the price after weighing it. Li Cheng saw with his own eyes that a person used a small bag of not-so-good tea leaves to exchange for 6 caddies of spinach. He left happily, and the spinach seller gave the tea leaves to the tea stall's old man. The old man took out 1 copper coin and 2 handfuls of white melon seeds, and that was it. Seeing this, Li Cheng didn't know what to do. He looked at Ergo, who was waiting at the side, and suddenly said with a smile, "So it's Brother Ergo. I've heard so much about you. Brother Ergo, I don't have extra money on me. Can I pay the tax tomorrow? Young Master Li, you want to put me in prison? When have we ever collected tax here? If young Master Li is willing to sell, remember to ask for 5 caddies of spinach for 1 copper coin. If you think it's cheap, you can go back to Zhuangzi. In the Li family's Zhuangzi, spinach can be sold for 1 copper coin for 3 caddies of spinach. Of course you have to pick the good ones." When Ergo heard Li Cheng's words, he knew what Li Cheng was thinking. Not to mention that there was no tax here, Even if there was in the past, it would change now. When he spoke to Li Cheng, he smiled contemptuously. This time Li Cheng finally had no choice. He shouted to the people around him, "1 copper coin for 6 caddies of spinach. Who wants to buy it?" He wanted to sell these lousy things as soon as possible and continue to look for that master. Since he couldn't find trouble here, it would be a waste of time to stay here. He thought that if it was 1 copper coin for 6 caddies of spinach, many people would buy it. He didn't expect that after he shouted, the people around him took a few steps back at the same time. Li Cheng was confused. Ergo clearly said 1 copper coin for 5 caddies of spinach. Why didn't anyone buy it when he was selling it for 6 caddies? Just as he was thinking about it, a kind person said to him, "Ergo already said that your spinach is 1 copper coin for 5 caddies of spinach. Why don't you know what's good for you? Why do you have to sell it for 6 copper coins?" Hearing this, Li Cheng understood. Li Cheng understood. It turned out that the price was actually so evil. It was exactly how much it was set. Couldn't be too high or too low. He wasn't a fool. He immediately understood the key point. Whoever was in charge of setting the price would get the final benefit in the end. For example, there were many people selling salted eggs today. If he ordered 2 eggs for 1 copper coin, then Ergo could naturally buy a lot of them. The bulk of the business was in his hands. When there were fewer people selling salted eggs tomorrow, he would order 3 eggs for 2 copper coins. Then he would make a profit of 1 egg. This rule couldn't be underestimated. Could be used for all kinds of goods. In this way, what was the use of tax? Just by relying on the right to set the price, he could make a lot of money. It was a good method. The price was set according to the quantity and quality of the goods. Naturally, other people wouldn't have any objections. They could choose not to sell, but as long as they did, it would benefit Ergo. "You're lying. You're benefiting from it. Everyone don't believe him. The price he said is beneficial to him." Li Cheng finally exploded. He criticized Ergo and began to persuade the people around him. In his opinion, the people would definitely scold Ergo and unite to oppose him. Who knew that after he finished speaking, the people around him looked at him as if he was an idiot. A kind person stood up and said to him, "Young man, go home and find someone to take a look at you. You're so pitiful. It's not easy to live in this world." When others heard this person's words, they nodded. It seemed that Li Cheng was seriously ill. Li Cheng was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. When he didn't know what to say, a person next to him gently pulled his sleeve. When Li Cheng turned his head to look, the person said, "Li Cheng, don't worry. Manager Li. I'm a farmer of the Li family in Zhuangzi. Don't say it. Others will think that you're sick. Who here doesn't know that Ergo benefits from setting the price? But do you know what those benefits are for? It used to be that if you want to keep the goods at night, you need to hand over something or money. Now you don't need to do that. The money Ergo earned was used to build those warehouses for everyone. Also, look at the 4 strong men next to you. They were hired with this money. If someone comes to make trouble or bully us, the 4 of them will rush up and beat him up. Then they will send him to the authorities. Everyone knows that. Also, look at the hot weather. If someone falls down from heat stroke, Ergo will find someone to treat him. In the end, he will only take the cost. Anyway, we won't lose money here. It's better than being bullied elsewhere. Everyone is used to it. Manager Li, you'd better go do your own business." After the man finished speaking, he opened up his own stall, which was also filled with spinach. Just as Ergo had said, 1 copper coin for 3 caddies of spinach. If the people nearby wanted to eat it, they just had to take out a few copper coins or use other things to exchange for it. There were all kinds of things, and Ergo was very busy. From time to time he would tell the people how much each item was worth. As he spoke, he took out the written sign. Not only did it show the price of something, but those who couldn't read could also calculate how much their things were worth according to the pattern on the sign. Li Cheng stood there and no one paid attention to him anymore. He was relying on his high status, otherwise, he would have been driven out long ago. This time, Li Qing finally gave up on the matter of taxes. He didn't expect to provoke others to not listen to Ergo's price. Ergo had said that the money would be used in the market. But he was still a little unwilling. When Ergo was almost done, he found Ergo and said, "Brother Ergo, I want to buy something from you. How much do you want? For example, my spinach. How much will you pay?" "It's quite a lot." "The same." "Then 1 copper coin for 5 caddies. I'll buy as much as you have." Ergo knew that Li Cheng wasn't sincere, but he still answered him. "Then, if I buy the same spinach from you, how much for 1 caddy?" "I can buy more," Li Cheng asked again. "Young Master Li, I'm not selling this spinach now. You can't buy it unless you're willing to spend more money. For example, 1 copper coin for 1 caddy, or 2 caddies for 1 copper coin," Ergo replied. "So you'll sell it if it's expensive, but not if it's cheap." "No, I won't sell it if it's expensive. If you want to buy it, you can go to between the clouds and the water. There are people there who can help you find such things, but you have to pay a certain fee." Ergo didn't give Li Cheng a chance. This time, Li Cheng had no choice but to thank Ergo and turn to leave. As for the spinach, he gave it to the Li family's farmer so that he could sell it and eat it back home. After walking for dozens of feet, Li Cheng still felt uncomfortable in his heart. What was this? He couldn't find any trouble at all. Just as he was thinking, he suddenly found a familiar figure in front of him. He hurried 2 steps and looked again. Li Cheng was happy. It was the expert he saw. He didn't expect him to come out. "Hey, the person in front, wait a minute. Have something to say. Something big," Li Cheng shouted as he ran forward. That person stopped and gave Li Cheng an unfathomable smile. Chapter 165. What's your surname? Li Cheng felt a little better when he saw the man stop. He ran to him and asked with a smile. The man found a stone stool and sat down. He picked up a wooden stick and wrote the word Zhang on the ground. "Zhang. Good surname, good, really good. My surname is Li, Li as in Mu Zi Zhang. Mr. Zhang, where are you going?" Li Cheng really didn't know what to call him. He felt that such a master must be teaching others, so he gave him the title of master. The man shook his head with a smile and pointed to the pond in front of him. "Oh, you're not going anywhere. You're going to the pond. I see. You want to fish. Well, I also like fishing. Why don't we go together? What kind of fishing rod do you like? I'll give it to you." No, I'm just asking." Li Cheng understood again and proposed to go together. He wanted to give the man a fishing rod, but he felt that it was too obvious, so he could only change his words. At the same time, he looked at the man. The man was wearing fine linen clothes and a pair of rough linen shoes with wooden soles. He was carrying a basket in his hand, but he didn't see any fishing rod. Li Cheng felt that it shouldn't be so, but he thought that a master would naturally have a master's appearance. What ordinary people could do, a master would never do. Not to mention that smile and that silent appearance showed that this man was a master. He heard that the old man Jiangxia was even more sloppy. You can't judge a book by its cover. The man smiled at him and still didn't speak. He carried the basket and walked to the pond in front of him. Li Cheng naturally followed him. This kind of opportunity couldn't be missed. Otherwise he would really regret it. The two people, one in front and one behind, soon arrived at the side of the pond. Li Cheng saw that the man found a secluded place, put the basket down, took off his clothes and shoes, and there was a loose underwear inside. He had never seen this kind of thing before, so he felt a little strange. When he thought of the master's behavior, everything was explained. "Oh, Mr. Zhang, I know. You are going to catch fish with your bare hands. Good skill. Since I was a child, I have heard that the master could catch fish with his eyes closed in the water. Amazing. Today I have opened my eyes." Li Cheng quickly flattered. He was used to saying such words. That person smiled at him again, which made him feel that the expert's smile contained too many things. No wonder he was an expert, but he was his servant. Good. Following Li Cheng's praise, that person suddenly plunged into the ground. Li Cheng waited on the shore. After a while, when the fish was thrown up, he would say a few words. Not long after, as expected, something flew out. Great, great, great lotus root. Teacher Zhang, it turns out that you want to eat lotus root. Lotus root is good. The taste is. It's so sweet when you dip it in sugar. Li Cheng's reaction was not slow, but he always thought that the master would catch fish and was only thinking about how to praise the fish. He did not expect that the master would go into the water to catch the lotus root. It was more troublesome to change. As soon as he finished speaking, many lotus roots were thrown out one after another. He also helped to pick them up and throw them into the basket. There was a little mud on the lotus roots, but he did not mind. Of course, he had to bear with it as he was picking things for the master. After picking up almost a basket of lotus roots, that person finally came out of the water. He only showed his head a few times to catch his breath. As soon as the person came out, Li Cheng said, "Mr. Zhang, you are so good. If I were in the water, I would have been directly fed to the fish. I did not expect that you could hold it for so long. I have to learn from you in the future." That person was still smiling. He specially took out a good-looking lotus root from the basket and washed it in the water beside the pond. He handed it to Li Cheng and pointed at the lotus leaves in the water. Then he carried the basket and walked back. "Mr. Zhang, I understand. You are telling me that everything is born from the root. Understand. It is too. I am not good at speaking and can't say it. I hope that Mr. Zhang can teach me more in the future." Li Cheng held the lotus root in his hand and tried to think about what it meant. Fortunately, he had learned something from the young master and said what he could think. Hearing his words, that person stopped and took out a short lotus root from the basket on his back. He opened his mouth and bit it. After biting it, he showed it to Li Cheng with a comfortable smile on his face. This time Li Cheng was confused. He looked at the lotus root carefully, then looked at the master, and then looked at the lotus root in his hand. He used his strength to break it. A slight crisp sound was heard. The lotus root had been broken by him, but it was not completely broken. There was something in it that was still connected. That person shook his head and walked in the direction of the main house again, leaving Li Cheng standing there in a daze. After a while, that person's figure was about to enter the main house's courtyard. Li Cheng opened his eyes wide and hurriedly chased after him. Before he could say anything, he knelt down in front of the man and said respectfully, "Mr. Zhang, I got it. You're telling me that the lotus root is easy to break, but the silk is hard to cut. Even if the lotus root is broken, the silk is still connected. This is the officialdom. This is something for people. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Isn't this young Master Li? Why are you in the mansion? What are you looking for on the ground?" The gatekeeper was about to come out and take the basket in Big Mute's hand. When he saw Li Cheng, he was puzzled. He could say that he was in the mansion now. The master was an official. In the past he had to say courtyard. Although it was a simple name, for him it was a special thing. "Big Mute, your lotus root is good. The young master and the young lady must like to eat it. It seems that you are the best swimmer in Zhuangzi." The gatekeeper asked Li Cheng and then said something to the master in Li Cheng's eyes. He carried the basket of lotus root to the small room next door and was going to send it to the kitchen later. Big Mute smiled and gestured to the gatekeeper. Then he pointed at Li Cheng and said, No. It turns out that young Master Li treats you as a teacher. Haha, Big Mute, you're really good. Go in quickly. By the way, go and see the person who is chopping the wood for the madam's courtyard. That guy is always playing tricks. If you don't watch him, he won't work properly." The gatekeeper naturally knew what Big Mute gestured. After he left, he said to Li Cheng, "Young Master Li, please get up quickly. That person is a handyman in the courtyard, not a teacher. If you want to find a teacher, you can go to the school." A master. You are indeed extraordinary. So you hid here and were willing to be a handyman. You must have been waiting for the arrival of a wise master. Shut up. What do you mean by a teacher in a school? Although he didn't say it, I know. What do you mean by a mute? That is called silence. Forget it. You're just a gatekeeper. Even if I tell you, you won't understand. This is because you are used to the vicissitudes of the world. You have nothing to say. Your young master and young lady have received so many benefits from him. How dare you talk to him like this? You wait. I will come tomorrow to take the master back. Li Chengjiao scolded the dumbfounded gatekeeper and said that he would come back tomorrow. He took the broken thing and turned around to leave. After walking a dozen steps, he turned around and glared at the gatekeeper. When the gatekeeper was wondering which one of them was crazy, he gradually walked away. Ridiculous. Let's go. Send the lotus root to the kitchen. The gatekeeper picked up the basket and muttered something he learned from the young master. Then he slowly moved to the kitchen. The next day the sky was very cloudy. Some old people knew that it was going to rain heavily. Li Cheng didn't care about this. He came as promised. This time he didn't come alone. There were a few people behind him. They carried a lot of boxes. When they arrived at the gate, they said to the gatekeeper, "The Li family's housekeeper in Zhuangzi wants to see Teacher Zhang." "Who is it?" "Young Master Li. There is no Teacher Zhang in Zhongjia Zhuangzi. There are few teachers in the school over there. There is no one with the surname Zhang." "What are you?" The gatekeeper was stunned. He didn't expect that this person who should be resting at home would come again. "Don't lie to me. I know. Zhuangzi is so powerful now because of him. Don't worry, I don't mean any harm. Yesterday when I said that I would take you back, it was just a joke. Look, I brought gifts today. This is the list of gifts." When Li Chang saw the gatekeeper's expression, he knew that the Zhang family had hidden him. Unfortunately, it was too late. He already knew. Where could he hide now? "Young Master Li, please wait a moment. I will go in and report." The gatekeeper was also stunned. This kind of thing was not for him to handle. He had to run back to the housekeeper. After a while, housekeeper Zhang hurried over and said to Li Cheng, "Young Master Li, please come in. I didn't know you were coming and didn't welcome you. Please forgive me." When Li Cheng heard this, he felt a little awkward. Just now, the gatekeeper said that it was in the mansion. This steward Zhang also said the same. "I know that your master is an official, rank 7. Do you have to call it a mansion? What a big place." Li Cheng cursed in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud. After all, there was a master here. "Steward Zhang is too polite. I actually have something to discuss in your mansion. Steward Zhang, please." Li Cheng looked at the courtyard wall. He felt that he was going against his conscience. As he spoke, he invited each other into the courtyard. Oh no, the mansion. After they sat down in the living room, someone served them tea. The others were arranged to sit in another place. Steward Zhang placed the list of gifts on the table and said to Li Cheng, "Young Master Li, what brings you to my humble home?" Li Cheng didn't know what to say. He thought to himself, "You are just a housekeeper. Can't you talk about other things first and then ask me why I am here? You just said it. Now you are at my humble home." After taking a sip of tea, Li Cheng smiled and said, "It's nothing. I just bought the Li family's farm and couldn't find the time. Now that I have time, I naturally want to pay a visit to your manor. The other thing is that I heard that there is a teacher in your manor who has been a friend of mine for a long time. I wonder if you could introduce me to him." Chapter 166. "Oh, are you talking about Mr. Zhang?" Steward Zhang tried to think of such a person and said, Yes. Li Cheng echoed. "What does he look like?" "You don't know. There are so many things in the mansion these days, including the new teacher. I can't see him for a while. Less. It's hard to be a housekeeper. If it's normal." Yes. Steward Zhang is right. It's hard. But Mr. Zhang seems to have been in your mansion before, right? Li Chang interrupted Steward Zhang's complaint and pointed out the main topic directly. "Before. There was no such person before. Did you remember wrongly?" Steward Zhang still couldn't remember which one was Mr. Zhang. Li Cheng quickly shook his head and said firmly, "Yes, I saw him yesterday. He went to the pond to pick lotus roots and gave me a lotus root. He let me know that the lotus root is still connected when it's broken." So the lotus root is still connected when it's broken. Yes, there is such a thing. You can't break the lotus root directly. You need to cut it with a knife. It's very difficult to make. I heard people say so. Is he the cook in your mansion? Steward Zhang followed. He didn't know how to respond. He just followed whatever Li Qing said. Steward Zhang, his name is Demute. He's not a cook. He's Mr. Zhang. Li Cheng was annoyed. He just thought that Steward Zhang was too straightforward. Now he took back this idea. If he didn't be more direct, he wouldn't be able to get the answer. Steward Zhang was stunned. He blinked and stared at Li Cheng. Are you talking about Demute? Yes, it's him. Mr. Zhang. Steward Zhang doesn't want to admit it. Li Cheng asked. No. Well, Mr. Li, please try this tea. I'll be back soon. Steward Zhang now understood that Li Cheng had taken Demute for some teacher Zhang, and even made a connection. It sounded good, so he didn't dare to be negligent. This matter must be told to the young master and the young lady. As long as he told them, he believed that the two little ancestors would know what was going on. Looking at the receding figure of Steward Zhang, Li Cheng sneered, put the teacup on the table and said to himself, "You leaked it. You want to cheat in front of me. Don't you know what I do? Xiao Bao, there's a blister on your leg, but there's no pus inside. It looks like you'll be able to participate in the next desert survival training in 2 days. Do you still want to go?" In the room, Wang Wan looked at the blister on her leg and asked Zhang Xiaobao. "Course, why not? I just want to scare that imperial nephew and let him know the difficulty of survival in the wild. Then he can devote more energy to it. Once he has nothing to do, he will go back to Zhuangzi of the Li family. I'm sure he will miss us. This is only the first time, so it's only the first phase. After the training is over, I'll give him some new ideas and come up with a second phase and a third phase. Each time it's more difficult and dangerous than the last. I don't believe that he won't be fascinated. If you want to figure out the thoughts of people like him, you have to do something to prove it to others. Then give him a chance." Zhang Xiaobao put down the blister on his leg and explained to Wang Wan while lying on the couch. Wang Wan was a little worried. If we always beat him, will he hate us? What if he loses his confidence? Why do we have to beat him? We have to let him feel that he can still become stronger. Hope is always in front of him. It's also good to teach him something. This is the result of many years of experience. When the time comes, he will take credit for it. Just treat it as a contribution to our current national army. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the wound on his leg as he spoke. Healed quickly. It was just a blister. In 2 days, he would participate in the survival in the desert. There was no delay. The desert was not as simple as the grassland. At that time, he would let Li Sun know what survival in the desert was. Unfortunately, how could it be called survival in the wild with some water? Oh, then we'll do as you say. Wang Wan agreed to Zhang Xiaobao's proposal. Little master, little miss, it's not good. That person called Li Cheng came over and asked Mr. Zhang, who is also Big Mute, about Zhuangzi. He said that Mr. Zhang taught him the lotus root and silk connection. I just asked him. Yesterday he met Big Mute. Big Mute was there picking lotus roots. What's going on? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had just finished discussing when Steward Zhang hurriedly ran over. He explained the matter and repeated the details of the conversation. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other and nodded at the same time. Zhang Xiaobao said, "It seems that our Zhuangzi has been targeted. Cuckoo and I performed a little better at the ranch. They won't think that we did it ourselves. They will only think that someone taught us behind the scenes. In that case, Big Mute has been recognized as a master. That's good. You go and tell Big Mute that from now on, he is a master. He will occasionally meet that Li Cheng. Every time he has to do a certain action, I will design this action. He can only do one action at a time. He can't stay in contact for too long. After he's done, he has to leave. As for you guys, if you want to treat him as Big Mute, do as you did before. Do what you should do. Don't treat him as if he has a high status. That's not as good as what he is now. After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he used the brush to practice calligraphy just now to draw a few things and gave them to Steward Zhang. Got it, little master. You're so smart. You don't need to meet him. You know what Li Cheng is thinking just by listening to those words. Steward Zhang respectfully took the things and said sincerely. Then he turned and left. When he came to the door of the living room, he sighed in his heart and said to himself, "It's over. Li Cheng, you should run away quickly. Poor child, why did you come here for no reason?" 4 days passed quickly. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's bodies had recovered. They only had a few scratches. Children's bodies grew fast, leaving only a few faint scars on their legs. "Xiaobao, the new one is about to start. When are we leaving? Li Cheng comes here every day. We should meet today. What is it?" Wang Wan packed herself up and was ready to go there. She urged Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao was almost done with his preparations. This time the two of them took a bigger shovel. Since there was water in the desert, the most worrisome thing was the temperature of the sun. During the day, they had to dig a hole and bury themselves. In addition to the shovel, they also had to bring a foldable lantern. Whether they slept at night or not, the two had decided to march at night to teach Li Sun a lesson. He should not think that he could run as fast as he did during the day in the desert. After packing the backpack, Zhang Xiaobao said, "Let's go immediately." Today, Li Cheng should have figured out how to divide a circle into 4 equal parts. In fact, it's very simple. I just don't know how he did it. I haven't divided him into 5 equal parts yet. Let's go. After speaking, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went out of the house. Pomegranate and the other 3 were already waiting outside. 2 beautiful cars were parked outside the gate. These days, Zhang Xiaobao paid for the repair of the courtyard wall of the Zhang mansion. The original one was really not suitable. A 7th-grade official was still an official, just like the county magistrate. It was just that he did not have a real position. Pomegranate and the other 3 were full of confidence for this competition in the desert. They believed that there was nothing that could be difficult for the young master and the young lady. The 2 cars left Zhuangzi one after the other and headed in the direction of Dingping County. There was a small piece of sand there. This small piece was bigger than the other places. It was enough for the children to run around. It would take them a few days to finish running. Dingping County was not far from Luochuan County. It was assumed that Li Sun would bring people there directly. This time it was unknown how many people would not participate, and it was even more unclear who would join. Once the number of people decreased, Li Sun would definitely recruit people on the spot. Otherwise, who would he train? The 2 cars were not in a hurry. Took them 2 days to arrive at the place. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan got out of the car and stood there with backpacks on their backs, laughter could be heard from the crowd that Li Sun had led first. Some people even whispered that the 2 of them were stupid for carrying such a big backpack in the desert. None of the people who had participated in the grassland survival training a few days ago echoed the laughter and chatter of these people. They all looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan with reverence. They had seen the abilities of these 2 people. On the first day they made food. On the second day they were in the lead all the way. On the third day they were in the lead. On the third day they were in the lead. On the morning of the third day, they had left an indelible impression in their hearts. Even if Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not participate on the third day, these people still left the first place to the 2 of them in their hearts. People of a younger age group were actually able to suppress people of a higher age group to the point that they could not raise their heads. This was ability. Ha 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 ha, look at those 2 silly children. They are actually carrying such a big backpack. Hey, don't you think so? Why don't you say something? A person who joined in later laughed loudly. He touched the person next to him and asked. He wanted to get a sound of agreement, but found that person standing there with a serious face, looking at the two children who had just gotten out of the car in front of him. What should I say? You are a fool. Do you know who they are? They are the Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan from Tuqiao village, Sanshui County. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan from Zhuangzi. Wait until you can hold on and stop crying. Then you can laugh at them. This was the 11-year-old who had participated in the grassland survival training. He did not dare to laugh at the two of them. At this time, a person about 10 years old came out of the group. He came to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and said to them, "Are you Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan who are rumored to be gods?" Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan from Tuqiao village. Yes, we are. Who are you? Zhang Xiaobao calmly faced this person and asked in a light tone. Wang Wan stood next to him as if she did not hear anything and looked around. I am your neighbor. Didn't your family just get a piece of land? The other side of the land is my family's Zhuangzi. We may often meet in the future. This person curled his lips and said. Chapter 167. Sand covered the ground, and a gentle breeze blew. The withered grass and yellow leaves curled up, and there was no wind or rain for many days. The sun shone brightly, and the people spoke. Helpless and unsurprised, who could avoid benefits? After the 10-year-old child finished speaking, Zhang Xiaobao smacked his lips and exhaled through his nose, and looked at the child calmly. Neighbors. It's good to be neighbors. In the future we can help each other. When the Zhang family and Wang family have difficulties in Zhuangzi, we will definitely find your village to help. What a joke, who will help each other with you? You're just a 7th-rank official. How can you be so capable? Fengzhou is just a small province. How can it compare to the land of my capital? The 10-year-old child didn't seem to hear the polite meaning in Zhang Xiaobao's words. He really thought that the Zhang family and Wang family in Zhuangzi wanted to curry favor with his family, so he sneered and said these words. Zhang Xiaobao also laughed. He suddenly thought that the person in front of him was just a child. Did he expect him to understand the meaning behind some words? Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to lower himself to the same level as this person. It was useless, and he couldn't get any benefits. It was a waste of saliva. Wang Wan didn't want to let it go. At this time, she stopped looking around and smiled sweetly, saying to the person, "Now that you mention it, I know that Feng province is only for those who are not capable. Those who are capable all move to the capital city. It's a blessing that our family can be connected to the capital city like you. Brother, you must take care of our family in the future. After all, we are just ordinary people in Feng province. Isn't that right, brother?" "Yes, that's right. You know what's good for you. Those who are capable are all in the capital, and those who are incompetent are in this kind of place. It's a barren place, Sai. It's not easy, otherwise why would we be in trouble?" When the person heard Wang Wan's words, he was happy and puffed out his chest. He continued to speak for Wang Wan. There were many locals beside him, and their expressions turned ugly when they heard what he said. This was not the most important thing. Li Sun also came over at this time and wanted to talk to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan about the desert survival training. He felt that the master must have taught them a lot. He heard the conversation between the three of them clearly. At first, he didn't think much of what Zhang Xiaobao and this person said. However, when he heard what Wang Wan said and that person said, he couldn't take it anymore. His father was now the provincial governor of Benzhou. He even bought some land in Sanshui County and became a Zhuangzi. The capital government was stronger than other places, but to Li Sun, it was only a place in the palace that allowed him to restrain himself. How could he be looked down upon by a commoner? Seeing the arrogant look on that person's face, Li Sun didn't even think about it. He took 2 steps forward and slapped that person. "You said it was a barren place. Could it be that you're happy that Benzhou is in trouble? Your Zhuangzi is next to Sanshui County. Could it be that there's enough rain? This marquis will remember these words. This year your Zhuangzi pays 1 cent less in taxes, takes 1 cent less, and has one less person to work. Don't blame this marquis for going to the palace to complain. Tomorrow, that is, tomorrow. Naturally, someone will go to your Zhuangzi to check the land. If there are more than the deeds, your Zhuangzi is deceiving the emperor and disregarding the laws of the imperial court. Humph, the outskirts of the capital. What great ability. The emperor has not yet determined the status of the people. You, a Zhuangzi, can determine the status of the people in Great Tang. Li Sun's first words were easy to say, but the last sentence was a big accusation. What he meant was that the emperor had not yet determined which place the people were noble or poor. You, a Zhuangzi from the outskirts of the capital, are speaking for the emperor about which place is not good. This accusation was enough to exterminate an entire family. The emperor had always said that he loved his brothers. If Pang province was not good, then why did the emperor put his brothers in Pang province? Did he want his brothers to suffer? How could he throw his brothers here in such a remote place? No, that's not what I meant. Aye. This person naturally knew who was speaking. It was the young marquis. Although there were more marquises, even the youngest marquis was still the face of the imperial family. Just now, he was too busy talking and did not expect to offend someone he could not afford to offend. If these words were to come from the mouth of the imperial nephew, not to mention the land, he would not even be able to keep his life. To gloat over the drought, to determine the status of the people in each province for the imperial court, to accuse the emperor of neglecting his brothers. How many people could one Zhuangzi be enough to kill? This person did not know what to say. There were so many people listening, and the imperial nephew was on the side. The crime was already decided. Fortunately, this person's family had taught him well and knew what to do at this time. Why is the moon in the sky so big? I saw Chang'e coming with a donkey in her arms. Hee, gold, this place is full of gold. Look, it's a sea of yellow. Hurry up and help me pack the gold. This person suddenly laughed and said. Then, he ordered the guards who followed him on Zhuangzi. The people who followed him were also scared to the point of breaking out in cold sweat. Now that they saw their young master's behavior, of course, they knew what to do. They pulled their young master and said to Li Sun and the people around them, "My young master's health has been poor since he was young. He always says some crazy things. In just a short while he actually fell ill again. Sai, please don't mind him. My young master will recover in a few hours. If he falls ill again, it will take at least half a month. It will not affect tomorrow's survival in the desert. I will take him back first. What a sin. Young master, wake up. You were fine yesterday. How did you become like this today? Young master, wake up." As the guards spoke, they dragged the person who was still talking about the green grassland away. Acting like a fool. You're lucky this time. The place where the Zhang family and Wang family live next to each other in Zhuangzi seems to be adjacent to the Li family's Zhuangzi. Let's wait and see. Li Sun was not a fool. She naturally understood what was going on. She pretended to be sick to escape. If it was not for the fact that she did not want to delay her survival training, she would not have pretended to be sick. Even if she was really sick, it would not have worked. Xiaobao, looks like I'll have something to do in the future. This child is arrogant and can play dumb. His family must be extraordinary. My peaceful life is going to end again. Wang Wan looked at what was happening in front of her. After her scheme succeeded, she smiled and winked at Zhang Xiaobao. How dare you say that I'm bad? I don't think you're a good person either. It's just one more neighbor. There's no need to be afraid. Let's have some friction first. It won't affect our business. With an opponent by our side, we can always be vigilant. Zhang Xiaobao did not feel much about this matter. They were just neighbors, so what could they do to each other? He already had an imperial nephew by his side. Why would he be afraid of one more? I know you don't care. He won't dare to provoke Li Sun. He'll turn his hatred on us. Wang Wan pulled Zhang Xiaobao to a resting area and said. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. You shouldn't say that. You should say that no matter if he offends Li Sun or not, we'll still hate him. As long as there's a chance, I'll keep causing trouble for his family. If there's no chance, I'll create an opportunity to cause trouble for his family. I'll let him know what it means to be not afraid of thieves stealing, but to be afraid of thieves remembering. You're going to take the initiative to cause trouble for others. Wang Wan knew what Zhang Xiaobao meant. She was a little uncertain. Why should I wait for others to slap me first before I retaliate? I don't like the look of him, so I'll stab him. Zhang Xiaobao said righteously. You're like a cooked duck. You're so stubborn. There are so many people, why don't you scheme against them? Why do you have to wait for them to come over and say a few words before you make a move? Isn't that a passive response? Yes, I'm passive. There are so many people in the world. If I always take the initiative to provoke others, how can I do anything else? I'll find some time to buy a few sheep and put them in ice water. After they get sick from the cold, I'll put them over there. When they see it, as long as they bring it home, we'll wait and see if there's a sheep flu. Zhang Xiaobao took small steps and was still thinking about how to scheme against others. Wang Wan burst out laughing. What sheep flu? Is that illness caused by the cold? Why not? I've had a cold before. It's the same for sheep. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. Zhang Xiaobao used his own personal experience to prove it. Think you're sick too? Hurry up and rest for the night. We'll enter the desert tomorrow. Why don't I remember there being a desert here? Wang Wan quickened her pace. She really didn't want to discuss with Zhang Xiaobao whether the cold could be transmitted to sheep. Geological changes. The river you see now is different from that time. Shanghai is not so far away. The people of Nauru don't have to worry about digging dung and not having a place to live. Is there anyone there now? It's better to go and occupy it one day and ship it here. It's not enough for the ship. Go in and sleep. There's no sunscreen in this broken place. These 2 days are not good. When we're done, we can go directly to Africa to dig for diamonds. It's just as black. Wang Wan pushed Zhang Xiaobao into the tent and complained casually. Young master, okay, we're back. That was close. We were almost caught. The man who didn't pay attention to his words was finally sent back to the tent by his guards. A guard wiped the sweat on his forehead and was frightened. Humph. You made me offend the royal nephew, Zhongjia Zhuangzi of the Wang family. I remember. Don't let me get the chance, or I'll let them die together. This young master, as Wang Wan said, did not dare to offend Li Sun. He put all his hatred on Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Zhuangzi. He narrowed his eyes, and a trace of ferocity appeared on his gloomy face. Young master is right. We definitely can't let those two families have an easy time. Originally, old master also wanted to spend money to buy that place, but he actually let them get away with it. There are many trees on that mountain, and burning them into charcoal will not be a small amount. The guard who spoke just now followed young master's words. The young master was satisfied. He looked outside the tent. Tomorrow I'll follow them and give them some trouble. It's best to let them die in the desert. Chapter 168. The night passed quickly. Zhang Xiaobao slept soundly by the side of the bed, but the young master on the other side had a dream the entire night. He dreamt that he had taken over the Zhang and Wang families' farmstead, and even chased away the two families. He woke up laughing several times in his dream. Li Sun woke up early in the morning with a backpack on his back. He didn't know what to put in it, so he only put a blanket and a few handkerchiefs. He couldn't remember anything else. He didn't think that he could use the things on the grassland in the desert. After all, there weren't so many insects in the desert, and there weren't any wild herbs. What he wanted to know the most now was what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan brought. He could have asked them yesterday, but he was so angry that he forgot about it. Now he couldn't ask them directly, so he could only follow them and see what they would do. Today, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan changed into a pair of shoes designed by the two of them. The original shoes with wooden soles were discarded, and the shoes with leather soles were also discarded. Instead, they specially got someone to make some shoes with tattered cloth soles. They even used fish glue to glue some small lumps at the bottom. Each of them had their own backpack. They wore bamboo hats on their heads, and the clothes they wore were also long-sleeved. At the same time, they also brought some saltpeter, which was the highest purity here, and some salt. They didn't bring any other food, because it would be found out if they did. After a round of inspection, a few people who wanted to bring some food were warned to leave their things behind. The team then walked into the desert. Some people left and some new people joined. The total number of people didn't decrease, but increased by more than 10. There were relatively fewer young people, only 45 people. When more than 140 children entered the desert, more than 50 of them rushed out. The other 80 people didn't run like crazy. They all looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan at almost the same time. "Cuckoo, it seems that they are not as stupid as they were on the grassland," Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan with a smile when he felt the eyes around him. "Well, these people must be the ones on the grassland. Seems that we are being watched. Let's go. The next place with water is 3 miles away. Tie the rope." Wang Wan glanced at those people. As she spoke, she took out a rope and tied it around her and Zhang Xiaobao's waist. Firstly, it was to prevent quicksand. Even if Li Sun would definitely send people to check on this area, they still had to be prepared and get used to it. Secondly, when climbing the sand pile, if one of them lost their footing and fell down, the other one could help. The two people once again walked forward, one in front of the other, and tried to keep their heels slightly off the ground. Wei Wei bent her legs and leaned forward. She even took out a retractable stick from her backpack and used it to move forward. Li Sun and the others didn't expect Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to be so prepared. They couldn't ask people to bring things over, so they could only follow behind. When they were puzzled, they felt that there was no need to use the stick. They could just walk directly, and the rope was unnecessary. Except for the children of the Li family in Zhuangzi, the others were all rich people. When they stepped on the sand, they felt very comfortable. The children of the Li family in Zhuangzi were also changed into leather boots by Li Sun, but they weren't as exquisite. As for the clothes, they were naturally made by the clothing company. As the crowd followed, their eyes swept over Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backpack from time to time, hoping that they could take out their things as soon as possible. As for the children who were in the lead, they didn't care whether they fell behind or not. The parents of the new children didn't know about this situation. When they saw their children running to the front, they began to flatter each other, just like the parents in the grassland. The parents who had experienced the grassland had long since lost this idea. When they heard the words of others and recalled their own situation, they could only sigh that they were too short-sighted. The desert wasn't big, but it didn't lack sand dunes. Some of them existed alone, while others were connected. If one wanted to go around them, they would have to walk a long way. The children chose to climb directly. No one was willing to take a long detour. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's shoes showed their advantages. Even if the small bumps under the shoes couldn't firmly hold on to the ground, they wouldn't slide down like other people. The sticks in their hands played a big role. When inserted into the sand, they could borrow a little force to prevent their bodies from falling backward. Even if their feet slipped once, it wouldn't delay them. "Li Cheng, did you see that? Turns out to be used like this." Li Sun saw from behind and said to the person who was following beside him. After he finished speaking, he realized that the person who was following him was not Li Cheng, but a person who was also doing chores, called Li Xing. Li Xing was not stupid enough to correct the young marquis's name. He said next to him, "Young master, look at their shoes carefully. They are different from what we wear. There are some small bumps under them. Mart, wait for me to prepare them tomorrow. This time I don't know." "Good, learn more. You watch that kid over there. It's the family in Zhuangzi next to us and Zhang Wang's family. What's his name? Seems that there is also a minor official, secondary 5th rank. He's not small." Li Sun nodded. After seeing the person who was pretending to be stupid, he was afraid that he would make trouble for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. After all, that person was older. If there was any danger, even if he dealt with that person, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would be unhappy and leave. Then where would he learn how to survive in the desert? Li Xing also noticed that person. His eyes were fixed on Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan in front of him. He replied, "I know, young master. That's a member of the Han family. His name is Han Yongyao." Yongyao. Someone like him can forget about showing off. When we get back to Zhuangzi, there will be a show to watch. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Zhuangzi are not comparable to other Zhuangzi. The people in charge there are extraordinarily powerful. How far until we get to a place with water? Li Ji looked down on that person from the bottom of his heart. He sneered, feeling that the sun was exceptionally bright today. He licked his lower lip with his tongue, looked up at the seemingly endless road in front of him and asked, "What is it?" "Soon we'll get there after walking this far. Today's lunch is the same as last time. If we don't give them food, I don't know how many people won't be able to persevere." "The desert is not like the grassland," Li Xing replied. He walked at the back, glancing at Han Yongyao from time to time. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan walked at the front. Their speed was not fast. When there was no water to replenish their energy, the two of them did not want to use too much energy. They wanted to wait until the water was filled. The more than 50 children did not seem to know the meaning of fatigue. They were still running with all their might. Some of the children even deliberately slid down the sand dunes slowly before running up. "Xiao Bao, do you think a scorpion will appear here? Or a snake or something? Then we'll have something to eat for lunch." Wang Wan climbed to a slightly higher sand dune and stood there, looking down and asking, "I don't think so. Li Sun must have already sent people to search for snakes in the sand. Most of them are poisonous. Why would he let people get bitten? Do you want to go first, or should I?" Zhang Xiaobao stood beside Wang Wan and looked down at the road below. "Let's go together. Take out the things." Wang Wan replied. She opened the backpack with Zhang Xiaobao and took out a few wooden boards that were slightly narrower and shorter than the backpack. Wei Wei put them on the ground. The two of them sat on them, adjusted their positions, and used the wooden sticks in their hands to support themselves. The two of them quickly slid down. Li Sun and the others also went up the slope. When they saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's things, they were stunned for a moment. Then they looked at the two people who were about to reach the bottom. They had no choice but to run down. This was very strenuous. Some people could not control themselves and would even tumble to the bottom. Without waiting for Li Sun to speak, Li Xing said, "Young master, this little one understands. I will definitely make this tomorrow. Don't think that the children in front of us are playing. If they continue to walk, they will be exhausted. Things like this can save a lot of energy. And there is indeed some skill. Look at the two of them, they don't seem to be tired. Maybe we will let the two of them go first again today. Good, I learned another skill. In the future, when I encounter such things, I can be prepared in advance." Li Sun sighed as he took off his boots and poured out the sand. He really admired the person who prepared these things for the two children. Don't think that it was a small thing. When walking in the desert, it might be the difference between life and death. The others remembered this thing and also decided to use it tomorrow. Only Han Yongyao was not so clear. He was thinking of making trouble for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Unfortunately, perhaps because the food in his family was better, he was a little fat and could not catch up with them. He could only follow behind and gasp for breath. The parents behind them were also uncomfortable. Seeing the children climbing and rolling there, they were very distressed. The parents who came from the grassland had already remembered the tools used by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan without their children remembering. Again they sighed in their hearts. Looking at the two little guys' tacit cooperation, they felt that if they were their own children, they would definitely hold them in their arms and love them. They were too sensible and too strong. They had never seen the two of them say that they were tired, let alone expect to see them cry sadly. In their hearts, they could not help but envy the two's families. They did not know how they taught them. No matter how they looked at them, they felt that the two little guys were like adults. In addition, they were also cute, with chubby little faces, two dimples when they smiled, and a pair of eyes seemed to be able to talk. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not know that others wanted to take them for themselves. They went down the slope, installed the boards, and continued to move forward step by step. After a while, they reached the place where water was provided. Chapter 169. There was a supply of water every 3 li. If it was on flat ground, it would take less than a quarter of an hour to finish the 3 li journey. In this desert, it might be faster at the beginning. Half an hour was enough. Towards the end, it would take less than an hour. It was impossible to even think about it. The children who ran first had already reached the water supply station, but the children behind them were still walking slowly. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were not in a hurry, but they still slightly opened up the distance between them and the children behind them. One had a shoe, one had a stick, and one had a wooden board. After a few hills and descents, the advantage was obvious. When the two of them reached the first water supply station, only a dozen children who had arrived first were already on their way. The rest were playing with water here. At this time the weather was not too hot. The children were holding water and playing with water, and laughter could be heard from time to time. They are all children. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said with emotion, "They are children. Have you ever seen a child this old be sensible? Oh, I forgot. The place you used to live doesn't count. Let's do it. Pour water, wet the towel and wrap it with oil paper. We should also cover our faces with something. When it gets hot later, try to reduce the loss of water as much as possible." Wang Wan had just refuted Zhang Xiaobao when she suddenly remembered Zhang Xiaobao's previous life. She could only think that it was the environment that affected his character. As the two of them talked, they took a few water bags. First, they wet a few large handkerchiefs that they brought. Then they took out a few small paper bags from their backpacks, opened them, and poured the things inside into 2 water bags. "What are you pouring?" Li Sun rushed over at this time. Seeing the two of them busy there, he did not dare to ignore them. He came closer to see and ask, "So it is, young Master Li. This is sugar, this is salt, and this is orange and apple powder. There are only 4 things, that's all." Zhang Xiaobao placed the things in front of Li Sun for him to see. There was not much powder, and it was not considered food, so it was not taken away. The main reason was that the people who checked it did not know what it was. At this time, Li Sun became very modest. He listened carefully and even put a little bit of it in his mouth to taste. He nodded and said, "Yes, these are the 4 things. Why did you bring these 4 things? Drink it with water to reduce the consumption of the body and replenish some of the things the body needs. We don't know what the things are, but we heard others say that you must put less salt. It's about 100 parts of water plus 1 part of salt. Don't put too much. The same goes for sugar. This is ice candy foam." Zhang Xiaobao explained the dosage to Li Sun in detail. The salt here was not pure, and the ratio of 100 parts to 1 part was about the same as normal saline. Li Sun memorized it. He had seen how many things the two of them had put in. He did not think that the two of them would lie to him at this time. There was no need for that. He then looked at the apple and orange powder. He pointed at them and asked, "How about these 2? Can you put more?" "No, especially the orange powder. If you put too much, your stomach will feel uncomfortable, especially when there is nothing to eat at noon. Put a little bit." After answering this question, Zhang Xiaobao was ready to go. The towel was already wet, so he folded it and wrapped it with oil paper. He carefully put it into the backpack, took out 2 bags, put them on his head, and put on the bamboo hat. Everything was ready. "Wait a minute, why are you wearing these things on your head?" Li Sun looked at the bags on their heads, which only left holes for the eyes, mouth, and nose, and asked curiously, "When the sun rises, it will make people sweat, even their faces. Water, forget it, you won't understand even if I tell you. Just remember that this is a way to reduce the water in the body. Course you don't have to worry about it as long as you have enough water bags. We are used to it." After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, He no longer wanted to waste any more time with Li Sun. Together with Wang Wan, he rushed forward. Looking at the two leaving figures, Li Sun also began to prepare. He did not have other things, but he did have salt. He put a few water bags on his body and said to Li Xing next to him, "Remember the thing about the mask? This is the most important thing. You can ignore it when there is water, but when there is no water you have to use it." "Yes, young master, don't worry. Understand," Li Xing answered seriously. He came here today to remember all the things that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took out. He was not allowed to miss anything. It might not be a big deal in this kind of thing, but when it was used on soldiers one day, then he would know the benefits. The children later arrived. In order to maintain their advantage, the children in front started to run again. Behind all the children, the adults were also thirsty and hot. Today was a sunny day, so they also drank some water. Time passed quietly as the children moved forward. The position of the sun also changed. When they reached the fourth water station, it was almost noon. The children in front finally did not have the energy and strength to continue running. Each of them had a bitter expression on their faces as they moved forward bit by bit. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan found a place to stop. When they were lamenting that Li Sun had sent people to clean up the place, they looked at each other, smiled, and scattered to look for something. They did not know whether it was because there were no poisonous insects in this small desert, or because Li Sun's people had cleaned it up, but the two of them did not find a single one. Since there were no insects, they could only look for something that was not easy to clean up. After searching for a full quarter of an hour, there was finally a cheer from Wang Wan. Zhang Xiaobao quickly ran over and looked at the place in front of Wang Wan. "Sure enough, there are still ants. Not bad, this is not poisonous. Take out the candy, we will eat ants for lunch today." While talking, the two of them took out the candies from their backpacks and placed them in a small sand pit that they had dug out. They placed a flat wooden box diagonally there, filled it with some sugar water, and waited for the ants to come over. After doing all this, the two of them found a sand dune with its back to the sun and squatted there, waiting slowly. Li Sun finally caught up with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He saw them squatting there motionless, so he also squatted in front of them and felt that it was indeed cooler than before. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked up at him, then lowered their heads and slowly adjusted their breathing, as if they were asleep. This made Li Sun even more curious. "What are you doing? Don't talk, it's exhausting." Zhang Xiaobao whispered and stopped talking. "Bei." Li Sun nodded seriously. He also followed the two of them and adjusted his breathing. As for the journey, he didn't care. As long as he could learn more, it didn't matter whether he was the first to arrive or not. After waiting for about half an hour, when Li Sun was about to fall asleep, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood up and walked to the side. Li Sun also stood up and asked in a daze, "Where are you going?" "Looking for food. If you don't eat lunch, how can you chase others?" Zhang Xiaobao didn't stop walking and threw a sentence. "Oh, looking for food, I'm really hungry." "What? Looking for food? There's food," Li Sun said in a daze. Suddenly, he reacted and looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. His eyes were full of surprise. Looking for food on the grassland was one thing, after all, there were wild vegetables there. But in this desert, how could they find food? This was impossible, absolutely impossible. What else was there to eat here? It can't be sand, right? With a stomach full of shock and doubt, Li Sun quickened his pace to catch up with the two people. After turning a small corner, when the two people stopped and took out something from their backpacks, Li Sun was frightened by the scene in front of him. The sand in front of him was densely packed with countless ants, layer after layer. Some were carrying the sand there, and some were crawling in and out of the box. Looking carefully, he found that many ants were stuck in the box. At this time, Li Sun finally knew what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were looking for food. It turned out to be ants, but these ants were a little too big and ran very fast. He didn't know how the two of them were going to catch them. Could it be that just eating in the box was not enough? When he turned his head again, He saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan take out a paper bag. When he opened it, there was a powdery substance inside. He asked again, "What is this?" "Flour alkali, it's made after the flour is big." Zhang Xiaobao opened the water bag and replied to Li Sun. He poured some powder into his mouth, drank a mouthful, and rinsed his mouth vigorously. He dissolved the powder into water, then poured the rest of the powder into the water bag and shook it vigorously. After doing all this, Zhang Xiaobao glanced at Wang Wan. Wang Wan nodded with water in her mouth, indicating that she was ready. Then Li Sun saw a scene that he would never forget. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan began to spray water at the running ants from the periphery. After spraying a mouthful, the ants moved forward 2 steps, and then continued to spray. After spraying for a while, the 2 people walked to the box. Li Sun followed behind and was surprised to see the ants that were stained with water curl up into a ball. They struggled there for a while and then stopped moving. When Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao came close to the box, they picked it up and threw it away. They then sprayed a few mouthfuls of water on the spot and stopped. They took out a small broom from their backpack and gently swept the ground, waiting to sweep the dead ants into a pile and put them in another box. Li Sun was dumbfounded. There were 4 boxes full of ants. Finally, there was something to eat. He felt that since Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could eat, he could eat too. Glancing at the box that was thrown away, he asked in puzzlement, "Why did you throw away that box? There are a lot of ants in it." "Ants in the desert run fast. If we are targeted by them, we won't be able to rest. There are living ants in the box. When they go to other places, they will continue to call for other ants. We will be much more relaxed. If we can reduce the danger, it will reduce the danger," Zhang Xiaobao explained. Chapter 170. Oh yes, you ran fast. You ran really fast just now. How are you going to eat these ants? Are you going to cook them with lime? Li Sun tried to suppress the shock in his heart and asked again. In fact, he also wanted to ask if they could share some with him. He was also hungry. As for whether other people's saliva would stain the ants, he couldn't care less. Zhang Xiaobao looked up at the sky and touched the sand that was scorched by the sun. He nodded to Wang Wan and took out something from the backpack with Wang Wan. Li Sun now felt that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backpack was a treasure bag. There were always strange things that could be used to survive in the wild. At this moment, he thought that he was already used to this kind of thing. "Let's roast it. I wonder if young Master Li would like to eat with us." Zhang Xiaobao gestured with the thing in his hand and asked Li Sun. "Okay, I'm hungry too. How are we going to roast it? Did you bring firewood?" Li Sun couldn't understand what they were thinking. "We don't need firewood. Let's go. We'll stay away from these ants. We'll continue to move forward." Zhang Xiaobao called out and led the way. Wang Wan followed behind, and Li Sun did the same. Originally, there were other children, but when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan squatted there, they couldn't wait and left. Only the 3 of them were left, along with the parents and a few guards behind them. In the desert there was more than one path. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan deliberately took a long detour. As for whether there were other children behind them, they didn't know. After walking for half an hour, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stopped. They touched the thing they took out, nodded, turned it over, and put it on the sand where the sun could shine. "What is this? Could it be that he's an iron plate?" Along the way, Li Sun would ask a few questions from time to time. At this moment, he began to think about this plank-like thing. Just now, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were holding it on his head. It was black in color, so he couldn't guess what it was. Now that it was on the ground, the other side looked like iron. "Yes, it's an iron plate. It's used to roast ants. You'll be able to eat it in a while. This side is coated with ink." Zhang Xiaobao introduced the ants, then took them out and placed them on the iron plate to let the sun shine on them. From time to time he would turn them over. When he felt that it was enough, he took Li Sun to a shady place. The 4 boxes of ants were divided into 3 portions. One portion was given to Li Sun. He and Wang Wan grabbed a handful with their hands and stuffed it into their mouths. When they chewed, they did indeed slow down bit by bit. It was as if they couldn't wait to chew every crumb into several portions. Li Sun was now following suit. What Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did, he followed suit. He also stuffed a handful into his mouth and chewed carefully. From time to time he smacked his lips. He felt that the taste of the ants was really good. Eating ants is good, especially using ants to make wine. Can also cure some diseases. After Zhang Xiaobao ate a mouthful of ants, he introduced the benefits of eating ants to Li Sun. If it was someone else who said this to Li Sun would definitely think that person was lying to him. However, since it was Zhang Xiaobao who said it, he could only choose to believe. He believed that it must be the person behind the scenes who told Zhang Xiaobao. After this meal, when Li Sun thought that they were going to continue on their journey, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan took out a folded shovel from their backpacks and began to dig a hole. This time, without waiting for Li Sun to ask, Zhang Xiaobao told him, "We're not going now. We'll dig a hole and lie down to sleep. Young Master Li, if you want to continue on your journey, you can leave." "Then I'm not going either. In a while, lend me your shovel. I'll dig a hole too." Li Sun didn't know why the 2 of them didn't want to leave, but he also didn't want to leave. He was relying on the 2 of them. He believed that the 2 of them definitely had their reasons for doing so. That person must have told them something. Soon Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished digging the hole and handed the shovel to Li Sun. They took out a blanket from their backpacks and spread it in the sand pit. Then they wiped their faces with a wet towel and laid down in the sand pit. They covered themselves with sand, leaving only their heads outside. They put the wet towel on their forehead and closed their eyes to sleep. Fortunately, I also brought a blanket. Looking at the appearance of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, Li Sun muttered. After digging the hole, he also laid down in it and buried himself. Li Xing brought the 2 of them here. When he saw the 3 of them lying down and sleeping, he didn't dare to disturb them. He could only stay at the side and drink water from time to time. Fortunately, he brought a lot of water. The desert was not like the grassland. The older people had more physical strength. When the sun shone, even if they hid in a shady place, it was still stuffy and unbearable. The temperature emitted from the ground was like a steamer, making people's bodies sweat uncontrollably. Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 laid down in the afternoon, which was 1 in the afternoon. They slept until 4 in the afternoon, which was 4 in the afternoon. 3 hours later, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan slept comfortably. Li Sun also rested for a while. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan crawled out of the sand, Li Xing naturally woke up his young master. "What are you doing?" "Oh, we have to hurry." "Comfortable. I didn't expect that sleeping in the sand could be so comfortable." Li Sun stretched and yawned. He looked around in a daze. Knowing that they had to continue their journey, he patted the sand off his body and followed behind Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. At this time, the desert was still hot. The temperature was not much lower than before, but the 3 of them were much more energetic than before. When they were lying in the sand, their skin was constantly nourished by the moist sand. Children had a strong temper. After eating so many ants, they were not afraid of catching a cold. Li Sun originally thought that they would be the last to arrive after sleeping for 3.5 hours. In the end, after walking for another 2 hours, he found that many children were at the big water station in front of them. No one was willing to continue walking. There were some stones that had been built into a pool and filled with water. The children all ran inside to play. It was really too hot. The 3 of them replenished their water and did not play like the others. They continued their journey. When the sky was about to turn dark, they saw a few people moving in front of them. "Young master, just now, someone came to report that no one has reached their destination yet. Right now there are only 3 Li left." Li Xing reported to Li Sun. "Ah, no one has arrived. Where are they?" Li Sun was surprised and happy. There are 4 people who were in a hurry. In the end, they almost got heatstroke and were carried down. When they recovered, they were carried back to their original place. There are 3 people 1 kilometer ahead, and the rest are these people, Li Xing replied. He was also happy. From the looks of it, young master might be the first to arrive. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also heard it. The 2 of them nodded and sped up. The few people who saw them watched as they passed by them. There was nothing they could do. They did not have much strength left. They had participated in the grassland expedition and knew that if they sped up now, they would not be able to reach their destination. When night fell, the 3 of them were only half a kilometer away from their destination. The figures of the 3 people in front of them vaguely appeared there. "Run!" Zhang Xiaobao shouted. He and Wang Wan ran forward first. Li Sun was panting heavily. He gritted his teeth and ran after them. This time he was really convinced. These 2 brats actually still had the strength. One in front, one behind, the same pace, the same arm movement. It gave people an indescribable feeling. When they were only a few dozen feet away from the last tent, Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 overtook the 3 people who were almost crawling. At the entrance of the tent, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan fell down at the same time. When the 2 of them got up, Li Sun happened to pass by them and was the first to arrive. Li Xing was also tired. He drank a few mouthfuls of water and said intermittently, "Young master is still the best. He is the first to arrive." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan lost their strength when they saw the place and fell down. Yes, young master Li is the best. Cuckoo and I don't have any strength at all. We are holding on." Zhang Xiaobao took off his backpack and gently put it aside. While washing Wang Wan's hands and preparing to eat, he said to Li Sun, who was lying on the ground and rolling his eyes. Wang Wan nodded fiercely at the side. "Yes, I really don't have any strength. I have to eat quickly to recover my strength." The 2 of them sat at the table and began to eat and drink. "Xiaobao, look, this is good. This is venison. Try it, it is delicious. Marinate it with our bean sauce and then roast it. Smells so good. Come on, 1 for each of us. This is the deer lip." When Wang Wan saw the things on the table, she immediately found the good ones. She picked up 2 of the 4 pieces of deer lip and shared them with Zhang Xiaobao while talking. "I am starving. Look at this shrimp, 4 inches long and boiled in salt water. I like to eat it the most. I will peel one for you." Zhang Xiaobao hadn't swallowed the food in his mouth yet. He reached out and grabbed 2 salted prawns and peeled them for Wang Wan. Li Sun lay there and watched Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan eat and talk. He really didn't know what to say. He knew that they were letting him eat. What did it mean to be tired? He was the one who was tired. The 2 of them were eating and drinking as if nothing had happened. They didn't look tired at all. "I didn't expect that after missing a meal and sleeping for 3 hours, we would actually arrive first. I understand that leaving first is not necessarily the best." Li Sun endured the taste of sweat all over his body and muttered. Li Xing was also sitting beside him. He couldn't open his eyes, but he was still holding the young marquis. Young master is right. This is called strategizing. He had already calculated that this would happen. Sure enough, young master is the first to arrive. The others can't compare. Li Sun's face turned red from Li Xing's words. She waved her hand, signaling him to stop talking. The 2 of them were sitting there and eating. "Zhang Xiaobao, is there anything good? Don't forget to leave a piece of deer lip for me." Li Sun turned his head and asked Zhang Xiaobao. He felt that there must be something good that Zhang Xiaobao didn't take out. Chapter 171. The stars in the sky couldn't block out the radiance of the crescent moon. The fire in the tent couldn't dispel the cold of the night. The light attracted mosquitoes that traveled more than 10 miles to find this place. When they encountered the incense, some of them ran far away, and some fell down headfirst. After eating their fill and resting for 2 hours, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan opened their eyes almost at the same time. They packed their bags, and under the light of the moon and stars outside, they once again walked towards their destination tomorrow. The guards in the camp quickly came to stop them. "Young Master Zhang, may I know where the two of you are heading? It's late, and there aren't so many people around to protect you. We're in a hurry. We don't need anyone to protect us. It's cooler at night," Zhang Xiaobao replied, and continued to walk forward with Wang Wan. The guards were stunned, and once again stopped the two. While chatting, they sent someone to inform the young marquis. Li Sun was dreaming about eating ants when she was woken up by someone. She opened her hazy eyes and asked what was going on. When she heard that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were going out again, she shook her head vigorously, put on a set of clothes and rushed out. "Zhang Xiaobao, what are you two doing instead of sleeping at night?" Li Sun asked with a yawn outside the tent where Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were sleeping. "We're in a hurry. While it's dark and not so hot, we're going to walk more and wait until dawn to rest. The desert is not a place to be. If we don't leave at this time, walking during the day will tire us to death. Survival in the wild. Who said that we can only survive during the day and sleep at night? When we wake up tomorrow morning, someone will bring us food. Young Master Li, you should go back to sleep," Zhang Xiaobao explained. He and Wang Wan deliberately wanted to break Li Sun's original idea. Survival in the wild was based on achieving one's goal. What did it have to do with whether it was day or night? But, you guys wait, I'll go too. Someone bring me my backpack." Li Sun wanted to say something to refute, but found that he couldn't. Zhang Xiaobao was right. Who said that they could only travel during the day? When an army was marching, it didn't matter what time it was. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a night attack. Suppressing his sleepiness, he had to ask his men to prepare and follow Zhang Xiaobao. If he wanted to know more about survival in the wild, he could only learn from them. There was still no news from Li Cheng, so he didn't know what he had to say to the expert. Li Sun's men were very efficient. The things that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan used during the day had already been prepared when it was dark. They put them in their backpacks and handed them to Li Sun. Taking advantage of this time, Li Sun changed his clothes and said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Okay, let's go." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan couldn't refuse him. They nodded, took out small lanterns from their backpacks, lit candles and led the way. "Come on, give me a lantern." When Li Sun saw that they had lanterns, the kind that could be folded, he quickly asked the people next to him for a lantern, but it couldn't be folded. Walking in the desert at night was indeed different from walking during the day. They couldn't see further ahead and could only stare at the front. Consumed a lot of energy. In addition, the temperature in the desert was low at night, so people were more energetic. "Why didn't you two say so earlier?" "I'm still sleepy." "Understand. It turns out that we have to travel at night in the desert." "That's right. It's so hot during the day that it can kill people. Without enough water, it's natural to bury yourself to sleep when it's hot and travel when it's cold." "I remember now. In the desert at night we have to light lanterns. It's not so scary and it can be warmer. When we go back, I'll ask people to make lanterns." "Is that right?" Li Sun was still sleepy, but he got rid of his sleepiness after being blown by the cold wind. He followed Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan as they walked. Zhang Xiaobao extinguished his lantern, and Wang Wan did the same. Then she said to Li Sun, "Who said that we have to light lanterns at night? If it's a sneak attack, won't we be telling the enemy where you are? Our lanterns are prepared for fear that others can't find us. We lit them just now to illuminate you." "That's right. Which soldier can travel at night with a lantern? If it's discovered, I'll extinguish it too." While speaking, Li Sun really extinguished his lantern. The surroundings immediately darkened. The three people continued to walk forward. They couldn't see the road clearly, so they could only walk step by step mechanically, saving a lot of energy. Li Sun came out, so naturally, there were many people following behind them. At first, they held torches, but when they saw that the young master extinguished his lantern, They inserted their torches into the sand and continued to walk in the dark. Fortunately, there was still moonlight, so they could vaguely see the three people's figures. "Here, sprinkle this powder on your body." Zhang Xiaobao walked and suddenly stopped. He took out a paper bag from his backpack and handed it to Li Sun. "What's this for?" Li Sun took it and asked doubtfully. "To drive away snakes and insects. The real desert is not like here. Anything can happen at night. Even if many people have cleaned up here, there may be dangerous things coming out at night. This is a medicine prepared by some hunters. It's quite useful." "Oh, okay, I'll sprinkle it." Li Sun opened the paper bag and sprinkled the powder on his body without any doubt. He left a little and deliberately asked loudly, "Can this thing really drive away the snakes and insects in the desert?" No one answered his question, but he didn't care. After asking, he wrapped the rest of the powder in the paper and threw it on the ground along with the extinguished lantern. As the three people walked past, the people behind them carefully picked up the paper bag and put it in their arms before turning around and leaving. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan still walked with their heads down. Li Sun followed behind them. At this time he was more energetic and felt that it was meaningless to just walk like this, so he began to ask again. "Zhang Xiaobao, you said that we can really encounter other things at night, such as snakes or something like that. If we catch them, will we have food for lunch tomorrow?" "I don't have that ability. We don't know who will eat who at that time. Young Master Li, let's hurry on. We won't be able to eat anything from now until tomorrow. Save some energy." Zhang Xiaobao was really annoyed. Li Sun asked about everything, and he still wanted to catch snakes in the desert. If it was only him and Wang Wan, he really dared to try. With the addition of the emperor's nephew and those people behind them, he didn't want to expose his snake-catching ability. It would be suspicious if such a small child caught snakes. "Okay, I won't ask. And I won't ask now." Li Sun didn't get angry because he had a favor to ask at this time. As expected, he didn't ask anymore. In the campsite, the news of the three people leaving quickly spread. When the adults who were accompanying their children heard that Li Sun and the two people from the Zhang family's manor had left not long ago to continue their journey in the middle of the night, they suppressed the reluctance in their hearts and woke their children up, asking them to learn how to travel. This was not only because they wanted to be cool at night, but also because they wanted to be associated with Li Sun, who had a high status. The group of children reluctantly got up under the urging of their families and followed behind in a daze. One of Han Yongyao's uncles followed and also woke him up. At first, he didn't want to go out no matter what. He was so fat that he almost died of exhaustion during the day. However, when he heard that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went out, he was awake and didn't feel sleepy anymore. "We'll go. I don't believe that I can't catch up with them when it gets cold." Han Yongyao gritted his teeth and said. He was still thinking about the shame of the day before yesterday. It was not yet midnight. He didn't dare to take revenge on the emperor's nephew, but he hated Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. During the day he wanted to do something bad, but he couldn't find an opportunity. He was fat. When the weather was hot, his body would become weak. His fat was nurtured, not trained. When had he ever suffered like this? He shouted that he wanted to go because he wasn't afraid of the heat at night. He wanted to catch up with Zhang Xiaobao and scare them or give them a few slaps to let them know how powerful he was. If this kind of thing happened to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, they wouldn't do it at all. However, for a 10-year-old child like Han Yongyao, this was the best method. The children didn't understand the adults, so they secretly cursed as they hurried. Zhang Xiaobao and the other two didn't walk very fast. The people behind them caught up in less than 2 hours. They actually came out. Good. Li Sun saw the people behind him and said happily. Originally, he didn't know how to explain to others why he had broken the rules he had set before. This time everyone came, so it saved him a lot of trouble. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't care whether others came or not. Their purpose was to draw Li Sun into the circle so that he could put more energy into this kind of thing and stop thinking about Zhang Xiaobao and Zhuangzi. At this time, Han Yongyao hurried over. He thought that he would feel better at night, but he didn't expect that he would still be tired after chasing them here. When he saw a group of people together, he felt that his opportunity had come. At this time, only Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's figures were left in his eyes. He ran 2 steps and came behind them. He laughed and said, "Zhang Xiaobao, and you Wang Wan, are you afraid of me?" Li Sun was stunned for a moment. He didn't know who was talking. When he wanted to see clearly, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ignored this person and continued to walk forward. This person chased after them for 2 steps, so Li Sun couldn't see clearly for a moment. "Zhang Xiaobao, you guys stop right there. I think you want to be beaten." Han Yongyao caught up and reached out to grab the 2 people's heads as he spoke. Before Li Sun could stop him, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan suddenly squatted down and swept back at the same time. With a poof sound, Han Yongyao crawled onto the sand and his whole face was pressed to the ground. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan acted as if nothing had happened. They stepped on Han Yongyao's hand at the same time. After Han Yongyao groaned, they continued to walk forward. Li Sun caught up with them and asked, "Who is this person? Is it one of the children?" "I don't know. Who cares? Let's go. This person is too careless. The sand is different from usual. It's slippery with leather shoes," Zhang Xiaobao said and sped up. Chapter 172. It was a dark night on a sand mountain. The wind was cold and it was difficult to walk. "Yongyao, get up, what happened to you?" When Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 slipped down from the sand, a person ran from behind Han Yongyao and helped him up while carefully asking, "Uncle, I'm fine. I fell and my shoes slipped." Han Yongyao spat out the sand in his mouth and explained to his uncle. He didn't dare to complain at this time. After falling, he found that the imperial nephew was also beside him. Fortunately, he didn't recognize who he was. If this matter was known by his uncle, he would at least be scolded. It was not worth it. He had to catch up and find a way to revenge. After persuading his uncle to leave, Han Yongyao continued to rush forward. Only when he started to walk did he realize that his 2 calves were sore and painful. He groaned and muttered, "2 little bastards, so ruthless. Don't let me catch you, Humph. Xiaobao, look at the sky. It's almost the autumn harvest. Are we still going to participate in the next wilderness survival on the flat ground?" Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan walked and chatted along the way. They didn't talk about things here, only the arrangements at home. "I'm not participating. Tomorrow we'll reach our destination in the desert at midnight. Then we'll go back and watch the others harvest. Little Red and the others will be back soon. I wonder how many poultry died this time and how much harvest we got." Zhang Xiaobao also whispered back. Li Sun followed beside them. He only knew that they were talking, but he didn't know what they were talking about. At this time, he was wearing shoes with small lumps on the bottom. There was no 1,000-layer soles, and they were leather soles. 1,000-layer soles couldn't be dried so fast with flour paste. Thinking about the person who fell just now, he felt very lucky. Naturally, he didn't see Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's back sweep. What about here? Wang Wan was still thinking about Li Sun's energy. "Easy, look at me and cooperate," Zhang Xiaobao whispered back and then said to Wang Wan in a louder voice, "Cuckoo, do you know what is more fun than wilderness survival?" "Really? Did he tell you? Seriously, why didn't he tell me? Xiaobao, tell me what else is there to do?" Wang Wan played along. Li Sun was still thinking about the shoes when he heard their conversation. His ears twitched slightly and his eyes widened, as if he wanted to hear something better with his gaze. Zhang Xiaobao didn't disappoint him. As they walked, he said, "Of course there are. Surviving in the wild allows most of us to get used to the environment. More importantly, it allows some scouts to better gather information. However, scouts don't just need to be equipped with this ability. A qualified scout must know how to track, know how to hide, and know how to use simple tools to make all kinds of weapons and small things. Tracking, hiding, Was it a game of hide and seek? I know this. When I played with you, you always hid behind the firewood. Am I good at tracking? Wang Wan continued to play along. Yes, you are. Next time I won't hide behind the firewood. I'll change places. I'll hide in the water. This time you won't be able to find me, right? Ah, changing places. You're not going to hide in the river in front of the door, are you? I know a place with deep water. You can hide there, but how will you breathe? Wang Wan suggested. At the same time, she was a little worried. At first, Li Sun wanted to laugh. He felt that Zhang Xiaobao was too stupid. He hid in the same place every time and even said where he was going to hide next time. He held back his laughter. When he heard Wang Wan's words, he also felt that this method wouldn't work. How could a person not breathe underwater? Zhang Xiaobao revealed a look of confidence. I'm not afraid in the water. I can make a bamboo tube and put one end in my mouth and the other end in the water. This thing can be used not only in the water but also in the sand. Buried in the sand, you only need a small tube to breathe. Oh, it really works. When you're thirsty, you can drink water directly from the tube. Why didn't I think of that? Wang Wan continued to play her role. Good idea. Li Sun sighed inwardly. He thought that if all the scouts in the army knew this method, it would be much easier to win. He wanted to praise them, but he was afraid that the two would not say anything. He could only hold back and listen quietly. Zhang Xiaobao said again, "This is nothing. We can find some cloth and paint it in the colors of various stones. When the time comes, we can directly cover ourselves and pretend to be a stone. Then we can get a pile of leaves to hide ourselves. Hiding in a tree will make it difficult for people to find us." Oh, how can I find you when you do that? No, I won't play hide and seek with you in the future. Wang Wan complained and stomped her feet. How can you not find us? You know the method I want to use, so you can follow this method to find us. In fact, it's very simple. You just have to think hard about how to hide from others. When you are a person who hides, what is the thing that scares you the most? Naturally, you can use it when you find us. Zhang Xiaobao continued to talk to Wang Wan. At the same time, he also guided Li Sun's thinking to let him think more about how to hide and how to find. Wang Wan deliberately started to talk nonsense. Me think. When I hide in the water, I am most afraid of the water drying up. When I hide in the tree, I am most afraid of the tree falling. Think about it, there are no leaves on the tree. You are the only one who made such a big pile. Of course you will be found, right? Cuckoo is really smart. This is not good. In the future, you will be able to find me as soon as you look. Zhang Xiaobao praised. Li Sun's serious expression turned into one of trying to hold back her laughter. These two kids were really too funny. How could it be so simple to hide and find them so foolishly? And right, he had to think about it carefully. When the time came, he would find an older child to do this. At the same time, he could ask someone who often hunted. He would find a child to practice first. When the time was right, he would tell his father. He would help the soldiers of this dynasty to gain more merits and surpass others. Li Sun was thinking about this in his mind. He followed the two mechanically. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that this was a good idea. He wanted to hear more about Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun's good ideas. However, he found that the two people stopped talking and walked faster with their heads lowered. Li Sun hesitated for a moment. He stopped and waved to Li Xing, who was following behind him. Li Xing didn't know whether it was because he saw the young master's movement in such a dark night, or because he found that the young master suddenly stopped, so he immediately ran to him. "Young master, what are you?" Li Xing thought that the young master was cold. He took off his clothes and prepared to put them on the young master while asking, "Don't move. Remember, help me find some experienced people like old hunters, people who make a living in the water, and people who have been driving for decades. Find them, give them more money, and ask them to tell me how to hide themselves in various places and how to track others. Don't forget." Li Sun stopped Li Xing's movement and said quickly. He still wanted to catch up with Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun. Li Xing didn't understand what the young master wanted to do. He swallowed back the words that were about to come out of his mouth. He knew that the young master was in a hurry. Anyway, this matter was not difficult. He nodded and looked at the young master's blurred figure leaving quickly. He didn't dare to delay. He found other people to give them orders and also chased after them. Under the influence of the cool air of the desert at night, the children seemed to have forgotten their fatigue. They jumped and ran again. They couldn't see the road clearly and were covered by the cool air. Each one of them seemed to have a lot of energy. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were also running, but they didn't make any jumping movements. Running up and down drained too much of their energy. They understood that even though these children had the strength to run now, they were affected by the darkness and temperature. When the sun rose the next morning, their exhausted bodies would not be able to hold on. Li Sun ran a few times and finally caught up with Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun. He tried to adjust his breathing. He didn't know what they would say. Maybe he could hear them talk when he went to sleep tomorrow. After they ran for a while, the adults behind them finally couldn't catch up. During the day, they relied on their greater perseverance than the children to persevere. Walking in the desert, no matter how old you are, if you don't exercise regularly, you won't be tired in the slightest. In addition, the adults' recovery speed was not as fast as the children's. At this time, they all felt that their backs and legs were sore. They secretly wondered who was the one training this time. Maybe if they persevered for a few days, they would be much stronger than before. The only thing that made them feel relieved was the disciplined guards sent by Li Sun. These guards ran at a distance from the side. If any child couldn't take it anymore, they would be able to treat them. You guys wait for me. I don't believe that you two children can run faster than me. Wait for me to catch up with you. Han Yongyao was fat and had never exercised before. He gritted his teeth and chased after them with his eyes wide open. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan became his motivation. His uncle ran for a while and finally had to give up. At the same time, he sighed in his heart. It was better to do this often than to keep raising him. Tonight, Han Yongyao was much better than usual. He knew how to work hard. He seems to have caught up. I knew it when I heard his breathing. Wang Wan ran and heard the sound of breathing not far behind her. She judged that it was the future neighbor and said to Zhang Xiaobao with a little surprise, "Don't be afraid he can't catch up. There is a slope in front. If we rush up we can slip and drop him." Seems that hatred can also make people improve. Zhang Xiaobao knew what kind of mentality Han Yongyao had at this time. He said with a smile, took 2 deep breaths in a row and suddenly sped up. Wang Wan followed closely. Li Sun also gritted his teeth and ran 2 steps. Chapter 173. The children ran the whole night without much rest. When the first ray of light shone on the horizon, it was just as Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had predicted. All of them couldn't run anymore. Their clothes were drenched in sweat, and as the temperature gradually rose, it was stuffy and hot. There was also a little bit of coldness from the inside out. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't care about the others. They went to a nearby water station, took off their outer clothes, and washed them with water. Then they stuck the retractable stick into the sand to prop themselves up. Then they wet their towels and wiped their arms and legs a little. Then they put up a blanket and waited there for breakfast. Originally, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan planned to let Pomegranate send the League Hunter to deliver breakfast, but in the end, everyone else joined in. Li Sun got someone to take a car to come here first, saving Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan a lot of trouble. How is it? Zhang Xiaobao, do you think this arrangement is good? Not letting others bring anything and only providing 2 meals, this is survival. No matter what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did, Li Sun would follow suit. At the same time, he washed his clothes with water. He didn't know how to wash, so he wiped his arms and legs and sat in front of the 2 people to show off his skills. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan shook their heads at the same time and took the porridge to eat. Li Sun was still waiting for the two of them to praise him, but he didn't expect to get such a result. Looking at the bowl of porridge in front of him, he asked unwillingly, "Did I do something wrong? Course this is a place for children to play. What's survival in the wild? For survival in the wild, who would specially go to the front to give water? Who would arrange 2 meals a day? Why can't we bring anything? Are scouts not allowed to bring dry rations when they go out?" Zhang Xiaobao asked several questions in succession, but Li Sun couldn't answer them. Wang Wan added, That's right. As for the rest tent, it should be carried by the people themselves. They can rest whenever they want. Whoever reaches the last place first will be the winner. My family, someone said it, is to give them a chance to prepare. They can bring whatever they want. The people protecting them will only interfere when they can't take it anymore. Li Sun listened carefully. He felt that it made sense, but he also felt that it was not feasible to do so. However, he deduced an important thing from Wang Wan's words. That was, the expert really did exist. Everything was said by the expert. Yes, he noted this down. Children who were too young would not be able to do it. He could let children over the age of 10 try. At this time, Han Yongyao also dragged his heavy footsteps to the side. He lay on the side and panted heavily. His eyes did not forget to stare at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan a few times. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not care about this stare at all. The two of them had no problem beating the other party, but it would not solve anything. There was still hatred, and it would only expose themselves. Not making a move on him did not mean that they did not value him. When they returned, they would prepare. As for how to calculate, it would depend on the other party's moves. What's wrong? If you don't want to rest, are you going to continue on your journey? Li Sun and Zhang Xiaobao finished eating at almost the same time. When he saw the two of them put down their chopsticks, he yawned and asked, "Yes, we are in a hurry to go home. I won't play anymore. This thing is for you," Zhang Xiaobao said and took out the saltpeter from his backpack, as well as the set of bowls. "Go home. You can get the first place, and then there will be a reward. I have also asked people to make a few plates. You will definitely get them." Li Sun did not expect that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would go back. They had only stayed for 2 days, so he felt a little reluctant to leave. He wanted to use other benefits to attract the two of them. When he saw the thing that Zhang Xiaobao took out, he doubtfully asked, "This is saltpeter. Oh, I know it is used to make ice for eating. Why didn't I think of it? It is not for entertainment, it is used to save lives at critical times. It is most useful when several people travel together. It can help the people around you to prevent heat stroke. More importantly, it is used to suppress wounds. Therefore, I only brought a little. If you want to bring more, it is better to bring water. Even if it is hot water, it can still save people's lives," Zhang Xiaobao explained to Li Sun. It is actually used like this. Zhang Xiaobao, since you are leaving, why don't you give me your backpack?" Li Sun understood this time. Saltpeter was not used to make ice for people to eat casually. When he looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backpack, he finally said the words in his heart. He believed that there were definitely some good things inside. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other and shook their heads. Zhang Xiaobao said, "Young Master Li, these things are enough for you to use. When you are almost finished, we will organize another trip. When we come back, we will show you some new things." Interest was also a gradual process. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not want to expose everything so early. There were indeed some things in the backpack, such as several different kinds of needles, a string separated from sheep intestines, a small soldering iron, some good charcoal, and a 3-edged needle. These were used to treat external injuries and bleed the human body, especially internal bleeding. Although the 3-edged needle could not cure the person, it could prolong the time for a while. It was not suitable to take them out at this time. Originally they were going to bring some pure powder but later gave up. Okay, I will organize another trip at that time. Be careful on the way." Li Sun did not know what to say. He really wanted to snatch the two people's backpack, but he also knew that this was like killing the chicken to get the eggs. If he forced them this time, he would not expect them to bring him anything. He had to say a sentence of blessing. Haha, are you afraid? Not far away, Han Yongyao, who heard Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan leaving, suddenly shouted. He was angry. He was prepared to retaliate against the two people in a while, but he did not expect that they would be ready to go home after eating. Shut up! Without waiting for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to speak, Li Sun turned his head and angrily scolded them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not pay attention to him at all. They rinsed their mouths with water, patted their full stomachs, and walked towards the outside of the desert. There was a dirt road there, and the car sent by their family was parked on the road. Han Yongyao did not dare to show any dissatisfaction with Li Sun. He had to smile and apologize. After avoiding Li Sun's gaze, he stared at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's backs as they left. Xiaobao, he must hate us to death. Wang Wan did not need to look back to know the situation over there. Let's go back and think of a way to deal with his family. This child is really not as good as Li Sun. At least, if it was Li Sun, he would not have made his attitude so obvious. Han Yongyao, a child, dared to show his hatred when he did not have his own power. It can only be said that his family's upbringing is not good. A good family will raise their children from a young age. If he can't do it, it means that his family is not good either. Zhang Xiaobao began to analyze the situation of his new neighbor through this small matter. He continued, with a child like him we can still make use of him. The more hatred the better. Don't you think that I am bullying a child? Children are always bullied. Otherwise, why would he dare to treat us like this? Isn't it because we are young? The autumn harvest is coming. Do you know how to peel the grain? Wang Wan did not want to talk more about the topic just now. She changed the topic and it became a technical matter. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. I know. I have seen people peel the grain and grind it into flour. I have also seen it. When the rice is transported to a place specially made for peeling, they first take out a cover with a big hole and put it on the electric motor. When the grain is poured into it, most of the grain comes out. Then they change it with a cover with a smaller hole. Okay, I know. When we go back you make this electric motor. I will have someone prepare the cover. This will save a lot of effort for the farmers. Wang Wan held out her thumb and gestured to Zhang Xiaobao. There is another way. That is to put the rice in the open space, dry it and beat it with something. After beating it, it will be blown up by the wind. I know how to make this thing. Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan with a serious face. This is something that people can do now. There is no need for you. Do you have a way to make a simple peeling machine? For example, the kind that uses livestock and manpower. No, we can't remove the skin of the rice and wheat. That way they can be stored for a short period of time. If we keep the shell, they can be stored for 2 or 3 years. Otherwise, in less than a year those black bugs will grow. Keep the shelled ones and eat them immediately. Zhang Xiaobao still had this experience. Once the rice and flour were made, they had to find a way to sell it. Otherwise, when the insects grew, it would affect the price. Wang Wan really didn't have this kind of experience. She was stunned for a moment and asked suspiciously, "You are not lying. I can't use this kind of thing to lie to you. Kaiwan, in 2 years there will be more food. Take advantage of this time and buy some back. We can make cakes, big rice cakes and other things to sell. Don't touch your own first. This year we will only buy the shelled ones. Help me think of something to make noodles. Take advantage of this winter to make more money. It won't be easy to make money with food in the future." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan talked about the future with confidence. Wang Wan, on the other hand, didn't believe him. Wei Wei tilted her head and asked, "Do you really plan to do this? Sell some cakes?" "Yes." Zhang Xiaobao nodded firmly. "Really?" Wang Wan's voice rose in pitch. Zhang Xiaobao opened his eyes wide and nodded fiercely. "Yes." Wang Wan continued to raise her voice. Actually, we can do something else. Why do you have to ask so clearly? It's not good for a husband and wife to know too much. I'm trying my best to leave you with a sense of mystery. Do you feel it? Zhang Xiaobao compromised at this moment. Feel it? I feel that I don't want to live with you. Hurry up and say it. Otherwise, when I grow up, I will marry An Lushan. Let's see what you can do then. Wang Wan threatened. Zhang Xiaobao was stunned for a moment and suddenly laughed. You marry that fatty. Yes, good. Now he is in trouble. I don't need to do anything. He will know who he can't marry. He will regret it to death. Haha. Zhang Xiaobao, get out of the car. I won't sit in the same car as you. Chapter 174. The road back was long and the bells jingled. Pomegranate was in a daze, and she was happy in the car. The sun was shining and the trees were green. The fragrance of the wildflowers was on the other side of the water. After joking around for a while, Zhang Xiaobao finally told her his plan. It's actually very simple. The people here belong to the north, and they don't like to eat fish. Fish fillets can be used as snacks, but fish meat is hard to deal with. There are many rivers here, and the fishing technology is backward, so it's impossible to catch all of them. I'm going to make some money from the fish. When the people here get used to the taste of fish and like it, we can buy seafood that can't be made into MSG and sell it for more money. Humph, I'll tell you the truth. I knew that international swindlers are all bad. Ordinary people take one step at a time, and those who are a little smarter take one step at a time. Those who are smarter take one step at a time, and those who are smarter take one step at a time. But people like you have to take at least 5 steps before taking a step. Wang Wan was satisfied. She didn't want to be unable to follow Zhang Xiaobao's train of thought. When this kind of person didn't do anything, others would only think that he was a simple person. When he really did something, they would never know what he wanted to do. Well, I'll take it as a compliment. I'll give you a detailed plan. I think that the people here don't like to eat fish, mainly because there are more sheep and pigs. There aren't many ways to cook fish. If the fish isn't cooked well, it's fishy and bitter. But if it's cooked well, it's different. When the time comes, I'll look for Li Sun and use the training to delay him for 2 or 3 months. Then I'll give him a good deal. I'll use the flour collected from other places to let him open a fast food restaurant in Beijing. He can fry whole small fish, and he can fry the meat of big fish. These all need to be covered with flour, and in addition to flour, egg white, and then there will be a market for the eggs in Zhuangzi, right? I knew it. It's not that simple. You're using all the people you can get in touch with, including Cherries and your family, and me and my family. Wang Wan was really surprised. Zhang Xiaobao had considered almost everything together. As long as there was a resource that could be used, he would not miss it. I'm not using you, I'm cooperating with you. I'm also giving. When you're controlling my things, when have I ever said no? Kai Yuan the food in the middle and later stages is no longer valuable. Can't I consider changing my form? Let me ask you, do you want me to use you? Zhang Xiaobao would never allow anyone to doubt his attitude towards his family. As he spoke, he turned his head angrily towards the window. Wang Wan felt that Zhang Xiaobao was the cutest at this moment. She couldn't help but kiss him on the cheek. If you want to use it, then use it. If you don't use your ability to integrate resources, even God will not be willing. Then why didn't you tell me first? It's not like I don't support you. And that person surnamed Su. He also said that for every 1,000 meters above sea level, the temperature will drop by nearly 6 degrees. It's cold, what should we do? Those poor people will go and grind, that way they can warm up. He can't. He's a scholar, so he can only dance. In dark places he can wave 8 or 6 times in a second. That way we can see the afterimage. It's a pity that there are still many years before we can use his application of optics. Otherwise, with his application of optics, we can do a lot of things. If there's no other way, we can find that person surnamed Li. He knows that when he's drunk, there will be 3 shadows. When he's drunk, there will be two shadows. People who drink too much are like that. Zhang Xiaobao touched the place where he was kissed and began to talk. Wang Wan was already stunned by Zhang Xiaobao's words. After a few seconds, she burst out laughing. I've never seen you ridicule others like this. What do you mean by saying that the heavens and the earth are only swish, leisurely and snot, okay? Qinziang is lamenting. Su Shi, you're also scolding him. He's just expressing a kind of helplessness and loneliness towards kinship. There's no need to talk about Li Bai at the end. That's a kind of imagery. Sophistry, it's definitely sophistry. What do you think that person surnamed Chen means when he says leisurely? I know that the white clouds are leisurely, but what about the heavens and the earth? The joys and sorrows of life, which one isn't leisurely? Later on, he's already blushing. How uncomfortable is that? Don't tell me that his tears will slowly flow out of shame. Then he's really too fake. Swish, swish, swish. Sad tears fall like rain. And that person surnamed Su, if he's not pretending, then what is he? Who doesn't know that it's cold at the top? Those who challenge the first peak know how cold it is at the top. I don't think he should write a poem. You say that you're at the top, but no matter how high you are, can he be as high as the emperor? He directly let you fall from more than 8,000 meters above sea level to a few hundred meters below sea level. This is the conversion between a mountain and a basin. And that person surnamed Li, he basically drinks every day. If you're really immune to alcohol, he won't drink too much. He'll faint after drinking a little rice wine. He can't hold his liquor. Take me for example. The national banquet Moutai is produced from the factory and has been in the cellar for 15 years. It's 52 degrees Celsius. I can drink 2 bottles in a row. How can he be compared with Wu Gang on the moon? Chang'e will pay attention to him. Look at her own reflection. If it's the reflection in the wine glass, there will be 5 people, not 3. He's making 2 mirrors at a 45-degree angle. So much land in the world won't be enough for him to step on alone. Zhang Xiaobao finally diverted Wang Wan's attention. He started to talk nonsense. That was his purpose. Wang Wan really forgot about the matter of buying noodles. Her big eyes and long eyelashes blinked. It was the first time she heard such words. It was really amazing. If this person didn't care about his face, he would dare to say anything. How is it? Are you stunned? Zhang Xiaobao asked timely. You deserve your reputation as an international swindler. Admire you. No wonder you can cheat so many officials. Generally, officials are in a melancholy mood. When they hear such a joke, of course they will support you. How old is Li by now? 13. 14. So pitiful. Wang Wan pinched Zhang Xiaobao's chubby face. She really didn't know what to say. The truth is the truth. You have to admit that with that surnamed Li's alcohol tolerance, if he really becomes a high-ranking official, wouldn't it be a waste of time? Zhang Xiaobao continued to say. Don't mock others. You can't raise yourself by belittling others. You are already an adult, and you are still telling such jokes. It's not funny at all. I am not telling a joke. What I said is the truth. If you want to hear a joke, I will tell you. In fact, this is the truth. In the past, I met a mayor, not a municipality but a government official. We had lunch at noon and drank too much. During the afternoon meeting, after the secretary finished speaking, I invited him to speak. That time he was really amazing. He walked up the stage leisurely. The audience applauded. He said one sentence and it shocked everyone. I have always wanted to learn, but I feel that I am still far away. Zhang Xiaobao said with emotion. Is he really that amazing? What did he say? Which official is he investigating? Wang Wan really couldn't think of what that mayor would say at this time. He said, it's my turn. Good, serve the staple food. I was so scared at that time. When I invited him to lunch, I only wanted to drink. When did I ask for the staple food? Zhang Xiaobao said with a face full of annoyance. I know who he is. He is the one who said that the morning meeting is the policy, the afternoon meeting is the strategy, the afternoon meeting is the strategy, and there are rules for sleeping at night. When he goes down, he will go down together with the two high-ranking officials in the province. Let's talk about something else. Wang Wan finally stopped refuting Zhang Xiaobao. She already knew who Zhang Xiaobao was talking about. At that time, she was the one who personally led the team to go down. If it was someone else who went down, there might be a chance to reduce the punishment. But the Special Second Department will not care about these things. Once they catch their family members and illegitimate children, they can't blame the Special Second Department for not showing mercy. Alright, let's talk about something happy. How much do you think the per mu yield of Zhuangzi will reach this year? Will it reach 10,000 jin? Zhang Xiaobao continued to joke. What's 10,000 jin? I estimate it will be at least 2 jin, and it's still the low-grade fields. When the time comes, we will do somersaults in the fields. Wang Wan also played along. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the dry fields on the side of the road that obviously didn't have much yield. He sighed and said, "Our family's land is about 4 to no more than 5 stones in the field, 3 to no more than 2 stones in the field, and less than 2 stones in the field. An increase of about 40% may seem like a lot, but compared to our era, it's still too far off. The highest yield per mu is less than 500 catties of rice. Yes, 200 jin for the high-grade fields is indeed too little. Don't worry, take it slow. If it really doesn't work, we can look for Li Sun to see if there are any talents in this area. Society is developing and there will be better ideas." Wang Wan did some calculations. The trend of this year's yield was much higher than the current era's yield. Compared to the past, who planted this small amount of rice would lose money. The people outside the carriage could only hear some of the messy words in the carriage. Even Pomegranate, who had been sitting close to the carriage, couldn't understand what the young master and young lady were talking about. They knew that the young master and young lady were going back to see the autumn harvest. In their hearts, this year was a big harvest year. However, they didn't know that the two young masters in the carriage were not satisfied with this. When the two carriages arrived at the official road outside Tuqiao village, they saw a group of people coming from afar. The noise didn't matter if you liked it or not. It passed into your ears from time to time. Pomegranate sat in the carriage and frowned when she heard the noise. She stood up and looked over there. Suddenly, she knocked on the door of the carriage in surprise and shouted to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan inside. "Young master, young lady, you're back. Our things are back, and Xiao Hong and cherries are also back." Chapter 175. In the carriage, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still talking about everything when they suddenly heard Pomegranate's voice. They stood up together in surprise. Fortunately, they were not tall and did not hit the carriage roof. They opened the door of the carriage and jumped out one after another. "Why did you come back so quickly? It took a long time to leave when we were in a hurry. Now that we are on the way back, didn't we agree that we would stop every few hours to let the poultry eat something and exchange the eggs with the local people?" Wang Wan looked at the poultry that were only visible in the distance. She was happy with a trace of puzzlement. This shows that the harvest there is relatively good, so Xiao Hong and others are not willing to waste more time. In fact, we have slowed down our speed to come here at this time. Otherwise, we would have arrived before we left. This is good. After Li Sun helps us sell some local freshwater fish, we will start to promote the benefits of saltwater fish, especially those dried fish. If we don't sell them at dozens of times the price in Chang'an, I will keep them and let them rot in my hands. Zhang Xiaobao was also happy to see these poultry come back. The thing that the farmers cared about most was how many chickens, ducks, and geese they could raise at home. As long as these poultry were in their hands, they would have confidence. Wang Wan nodded and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "They are called saltwater fish." "What saltwater fish? According to you, are they divided into river fish, and lake fish?" Course they are divided like that. Yellow river carp, no one sells freshwater fish, and no one calls Chinese sturgeon as freshwater sturgeon. According to the needs of the region, there are different names. The fish in the sea are naturally saltwater fish, abbreviated as saltwater fish. Zhang Xiaobao gave an example. Along the way they were in a good mood and kept arguing. Wang Wan exhaled through her nose and said, "You have learned something new. Then let me ask you, what should we call the fish in our pond?" "Do you still need to ask?" "Course it is the fish in the pond," Zhang Xiaobao said without thinking. "You see, the fish in Qinghai Lake is called blackfish, right? Isn't that what the Bajou's Bayou said?" Wang Wan asked. "If you don't follow such strict requirements, that is indeed the case." Zhang Xiaobao felt a little wronged and could only argue forcefully. Wang Wan didn't continue to dwell on this issue. She shouted to the other side, "Xiao Hong cherries, here we are here." On the other side, Xiao Hong and cherries were rushing the poultry. Hearing Wang Wan's words, they excitedly sped up. A flock of domestic fowls ran towards the farmstead. The ones in the lead were a few large geese. When they saw that there were people in front of them, they were not as smart as Furry. They knew that they could not casually attack such a creature. They lowered their heads and pressed their necks, rushing over like Wang Wan. Wang Wan grew up in the city and didn't understand the violence of these geese at all. Just when she was about to take a few steps forward, Zhang Xiaobao suddenly stood out from behind her and pulled her back, watching the two geese pecking his legs. "Xiaobao, hurry up and get them away. Hurt so much." Wang Wan could feel how much damage Zhang Xiaobao's legs would suffer at this time. "How do I get them away?" "The bigger the geese, the more tenacious they are. They can be used to guard the house instead of dogs. Just wait for cherries to come over." Zhang Xiaobao endured the pain and didn't kill the two geese at once. This geese cost a lot of money and the price of the eggs was also not low. It was just a little pain and he couldn't cut off a piece of meat. He just had to endure it and it would be over. It didn't take long for cherries to come over. When she saw the geese twist the young master's legs, she raised her leg and was about to kick. "Don't kick, they already have eggs. Just treat it as cupping and scraping. These geese are good, they can help guard the house in the future." Zhang Xiaobao looked at the two geese and his voice didn't change at all, as if he wasn't the one being twisted. When the two geese were taken away by cherries, Zhang Xiaobao said with a grin, "It hurts so much. Who can help me?" As he spoke, he reached out his hand to Wang Wan. Wang Wan was angry and funny, but at the same time she was a little touched. She said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Walk by yourself. Did you twist your tendons? When we go back, I'll rub them with millet dipped in wine for you. You can show off." "No, I'm competing with my legs. If they really twisted my tendons, I'll kick them to death. Do they really think they are so powerful because they have a mouth?" Zhang Xiaobao bent down and rubbed the place where he was twisted. He called cherries and then turned around and walked to the side of the car. At the same time he said, "If I had known, I wouldn't have been so far away from the car. Let me see, how hurt are you?" As soon as they got in the car, Wang Wan rolled up Zhang Xiaobao's trouser leg and gently touched the bruised place with her hand. She looked up at Zhang Xiaobao and said, "I didn't expect you to be a real man. You can still stand it after being twisted like this." "I did it on purpose. I wanted to see if I had reached the level of invincible Vajra. This is called cross-training iron skin, one of the 13 treasures." Zhang Xiaobao looked up and said, "Then how do you feel after you've tried it?" Wang Wan asked with a smile. "It's a bit lacking." Asterisk, 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 asterisk cherries and Xiao Hong came back with a pile of poultry. The people on Zhuangzi happily came to welcome them. The only one who was not happy was Zhang Xiaobao. He muttered that it was too easy to go up and down the line of fire while looking for someone to remove the bruised blood. When he got home, he first soaked the bruised blood in hot water. After soaking for a while, he used a needle to prick the bruised blood out. After that, he put ice on the bruised blood. After a while he finally felt better. Cherries and Xiao Hong were busy returning the poultry to the various farmers. The compensation for the eggs was also given out. As for the dead animals, of course, it would be counted as the owner's responsibility. Su Si and the others also ordered people to move the goods to the warehouse. Naturally, it was Zhang Xiaobao's warehouse. His money was now calculated separately from the accounts of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family. If it wasn't for the fact that the two families often used the things in his warehouse to do things, it would be better. With the return of everyone, the autumn harvest was about to begin. Every family prepared everything that they needed to prepare. Li Sun, who had just finished running in the desert, also hurried back. He wanted to see the difference between his zhuangzi and the zhuangzi of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family during the autumn harvest. As for the third wilderness survival training, it was postponed by him. "Young master, you're back." This little one discovered something. Li Cheng, who had been treating Zhangjia Zhuangzi to meals and drinks these days, saw that the young master had returned. He quickly approached him and said something that the young master was interested in. "Oh, what is it? Tell me about it." Li Sun didn't expect that something would happen as soon as he came back. As for whether this matter would harm his zhuangzi, he really didn't care. He just wanted to figure out what was going on. Replying to the young master, "According to the time that we plant, we need to harvest the wheat first. After harvesting the wheat, it's time to harvest the rice." However, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's zhuangzi's wheat and rice seem to ripen together. This little one really doesn't understand. Why is that? Li Cheng told Li Sun what he had observed. He really couldn't understand. If the rice of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family was a little worse, it would be reasonable. However, what he saw was that the rice was better than other places. This year, not to mention the lack of harvest, it wouldn't be a problem to harvest 10% or 20% more. Li Sun originally didn't think much of it, but when he heard Li Cheng's words, he was stunned for a moment. He asked doubtfully, "Is that really the case? How's their rice production?" "Blah. Seems that they can produce nearly 5 dan of rice. I don't know what they use." Normally, Gu family's zhuangzi also got rice seedlings from them. Although it was a little late, the harvest shouldn't be too different, right? However, it's not the same. This little one thinks that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's zhuangzi didn't give the same seeds to Gu family's zhuangzi. Li Cheng first explained the matter to the young marquis and then told him his thoughts. "Well, this matter is known. Let's talk about it next year. Let's see what they use when they plant." Li Sun also didn't understand. He didn't have the slightest knowledge about farming. When the harvest day arrived, all the farmers were busy. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's zhuangzi still followed the same method as last year, uniformly harvesting. The main family also prepared food early. There was meat, vegetables, soup and rice. According to Zhang Xiaobao's idea, all the meat these days was replaced with fish. They specifically found a big fish and cut out the meat without bones. One by one, they wrapped the meat and put it in a pot of oil to fry. After they were fried, they put some seasonings on the side for people to dip in when they eat. This year, Gu family's zhuangzi also learned from Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family's methods. They prepared delicious food for the farmers. As long as they worked hard, they would have food to eat when the harvest time came. Li Sun's zhuangzi didn't realize it at first. The next day, Li Sun, who was used to learning from Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and zhuangzi's methods, also ordered people to uniformly harvest and provide food for lunch and dinner. "Young master, we can't do this. We will lose a lot of money. Why should we provide the farmers with food for 2 meals? When Li Cheng saw the villagers eating at noon, he was scared to death. He quickly found Li Sun and told her about it. "Yes, why should we? Just based on the fact that when the young master and young lady went to Shuiyun for a meal, someone would immediately stand up and stop them. Just based on the fact that when we spent money to bribe them, the villagers wouldn't budge at all. Just based on what they said, when Zhang Xiaobao whistled that day, the people around the 2 villages immediately rushed over to protect them. What else is there to say? Look at their harvesting speed. With the same sickle, the same wheat, and the same uniform work, their harvesting speed is 50% faster than ours. The children in our farmstead are following behind and picking up the leftovers while they are playing, but the children in the other farmstead are all very serious. What is this? This is called the human heart. You saw it. When the farmers from Zhuangzi meet other people, they stick out their chest and we lower our heads. Do you understand? Li Sun wasn't stupid at all. He noticed the difference through observation and shouted at Li Cheng angrily. Chapter 176. When autumn comes, the fields are dry and the chickens are idle. People are busy with their backs to the north, and the sun turns to the west. Scythes are swept like the wind, and sweat is like rain. 3 months of spring are spent waiting for this season. People with fields everywhere are busy harvesting their crops while the weather is hot and rainy. Otherwise, when the autumn rain falls, the harvest will be reduced in the blink of an eye. The farmers of Zhuangzi, Zhang Wang, and Wang Zhuangzi were obviously faster than the farmers of other villages. There was no difference in the way they dressed. The only difference was the tools in their hands, which were scythes. The scythes of Zhuangzi, Zhang Wang, and Wang Zhuangzi were slightly longer than the scythes of other villages. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw the scythes here, they found that they were different from the ones they had seen before. The two of them discussed and felt that the difference might be due to the difference in location. More importantly, during the process of inheritance, the workers improved little by little. Since that was the case, the two of them specially paid for a batch of scythes to be made. At this time, it seemed that the speed was indeed much faster. Another reason for the speed was their physical condition. Zhang Wang and Wang Zhuangzi gave some small benefits, which made the farmers healthier than other farmers. The food they ate was also much better. The mechanical labor was a competition of endurance and resistance to the sun. With these factors added together, the two farmers were half as fast as other villages. While the others were busy, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ran outside and squatted in the shade of a big tree, using small wooden sticks to draw circles. Zhang Xiaobao used a ruler to draw a diagram for Li Cheng to figure out, and Wang Wan was drawing something else. You're a combine harvester? Good idea. I'll draw an oil refinery here. When the time comes, I'll provide you with oil for the machine. You're drawing a diesel engine, right? Zhang Xiaobao had just figured out 2 small graphics games when he turned his head and saw what Wang Wan was drawing in front of him. There were 2 big machines. The one in front was responsible for harvesting and threshing, and the one in the back was responsible for transporting dust. Don't look down on people. How long did it take from the invention of the steam engine to the satellite? When the white steam came out of the front of the car, the wheels of history. The wheels of history run over the crystallization of countless people's sweat. Countless people. It's not something that can be done by a liar and a police officer. He contains. I know. Isn't it just the accumulation of various disciplines? It's just a drawing, and it's not like it's going to be done. When are we going to send people to the mountains to block those large natural ponds? The freshwater crabs, shrimps, and fish we bought from other places are still in the pond. If they get any bigger, we won't be able to hold them all. Wang Wan used a wooden stick to make a cross on the drawing she had drawn, clapped her hands and asked Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the people working in the field and said hesitantly, "We have to wait for them to finish their work. This time, Erniu brought a lot of my fan stones from the other side. What should we use them for? If there's no other way, we can buy a property in the capital and build a large bathing pool there. Do you think people will go there? It will cause trouble unless you want to rely on a certain power. Do you want to?" Wang Wan poured cold water on Zhang Xiaobao. "No, I don't want to. Let's keep the stones at home. As for the fungus and tremella, don't sell them first. Keep them. After 2 years, when people's living standards improve, they will be sold for a good price. They won't get wet and can prevent insects from biting them. Those things can be kept for a long time. When we have enough people, we can release them." Zhang Xiaobao whispered a few words. Wang Wan agreed and said, "Yes, there are too few people who can take care of things on their own. If we let them do business, we will suffer losses. Let's use the store to train them first. When County Magistrate Cheng is promoted, we will continue to train new county magistrates. Let's ask County Magistrate Cheng to rope in more people. For the current officials and the students who will take the exam in the future, I agree to open an inn in the capital. Find a slightly remote place and buy it. If there's no other choice, we can just buy it outside the city. According to Zhou Shihu's uncle, the surrounding area is also prosperous. Okay, I understand what you mean. Let's give some benefits to those students who go to the capital to prepare for the exam. Even if only 1 out of 100 people passes the exam, it will be of great help to us. It's not like they have to take the Shotsai exam. There are other subjects. That's settled. Let's go and see what we have for dinner tonight. After Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan finished discussing business, they stood up and walked to the kitchen. There were several big pots set up. Those who were boiling water and cutting vegetables were busy. Large pieces of streaky pork and some green vegetables were thrown into the pot. Before they got close, the smell of chopped green onions wafted over. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sniffed and nodded with satisfaction. There was a lot of the smell of oil and smoke here. They didn't use oil slick, nor did they fry the streaky pork directly. It should be good to eat later. Little young master and little miss are here. Hot, sit here. As soon as the people working saw the 2 little devils from the farmstead approaching, a woman in her 30s who was not very nimble with her legs found 2 small stools and moved the umbrella that was held up for them to the side, blocking the 2 of them from view. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want to disturb her, but when they saw that she had already prepared everything, they could only enjoy it. The 2 of them understood that sometimes there were some things that one couldn't refuse. If they really left at this time, the farmer would definitely think that the master was dissatisfied. If the 2 little ancestors went back and told the master about what happened today, the master would feel that the account was disrespectful to the master. As soon as the 2 of them sat down, a short table was placed in front of them. The streaky pork that was specially prepared for the people in the inner courtyard was cut into thin slices and placed on a wooden plate. There was also a small dish of garlic sauce on the side. After that, the garden also flattened the cucumber that had been preserved until now, marinated it with salt and garlic, and poured some sesame oil on it for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to eat. Zhang Xiaobao picked up a piece of meat and dipped it in the plate. Before he even tasted it, he said, "Good, good, it's really too fragrant." "Yes, it smells good." Wang Wan also echoed at the side. As soon as the 2 of them finished speaking, just as they thought, the faces of the people around them all revealed happy smiles. A word of praise could make them happy for a day. Wang Wan also ate a piece of meat and used her tongue to lick the oil around the corner of her mouth. Then she asked Zhang Xiaobao, "The taste is really not good, right, Xiaobao?" "Yes, it's just that the garlic sauce hasn't been soaked in the big sauce. It's even more delicious when soaked in the big sauce. The heat of cooking is also not bad. It's fat but not greasy, thin but not dry. Let's also cook it tomorrow. Instead of boiling it, cut it into slices and soak it in hot water. Then we'll wash the oil and blood on it." Zhang Xiaobao still felt that there could be a better way to eat it. Wang Wan also nodded in agreement. "Boss, it's here. Look, the rice is growing so well. Boss, please slow down a little." Just when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were half full, a group of people came from the small bridge. When they approached the place where they were cooking, a man wearing a green silk shirt and a beard hat was talking to a fat man with light yellow slanted shoulders, wide-legged pants, and narrow leather boots. "What do they do?" Wang Wan put down her chopsticks and muttered, "I don't know. Usually, when you see a servant talking to a person like that, it's usually the villain. His acting skills are not as good as Song Jinggong's. It's obviously written on his face that he's a bad guy." Zhang Xiaobao joked with Wang Wan. He didn't care who came. The 2 families were no longer the same as before. At the very least, he was an official. He wasn't a pushover who could be easily bullied. Well, good place. 1 mu of land can actually produce more than 4 dan of grain. I heard that there's a market here. Why haven't I seen it? The boss looked left and right and asked the young man from before. If we go back to the boss's house, we're all busy. Maybe we can come out at night. Boss, please sit. It's tiring to stand. As the man spoke, he stared at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. To be precise, he stared at the stool under their butts. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of a few copper coins rolling on the table sounded. The man said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Little kids, stand up. These copper coins are yours." Not bad. He looks like a lackey. Wang Wan looked at the copper coins on the table and said to Zhang Xiaobao. Her voice was not low, so the people around them heard it. Indeed. Otherwise, why would people say that dogs look down on people? That's probably how it came about. Zhang Xiaobao also said. At this time, the people around them who were cooking had stopped what they were doing. They took all kinds of tools and surrounded the group of people. The one who was cutting vegetables held a kitchen knife and stood in front of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The blood on the knife dripped down drop by drop, splashing to the ground and forming a small black hole. What are you doing? Do you know who am I? The man who spoke just now had now reacted. Hearing the words of the two children, he knew that the status of the other party was not low. He said with regret and fear, "Bastard, why don't you get back here? How can you let the noble give up his position? Everyone, it's because I didn't discipline him strictly and let this brat be a bit domineering. I apologize here. May I know which family these two noble children are from?" Just when this brat was worried that he would be beaten, the boss behind him stood up in time to smooth things over. At this time, he saw clearly that the two children were wearing clothes made of ordinary materials, but the parts of their faces and hands that were exposed were white and tender. Ordinary village children would not be like this. "What are you asking about? Where did you come from? What do you do?" The person in charge of the cooking place did not answer the other party's words. Instead, he looked at them with a suspicious gaze and asked, "This is our boss. He specially came to see you. It's the autumn harvest. There are so many grains that can't be sold. Our boss wants them all. 10 copper coins per bushel." The bastard knew that it was time for him to speak. He pointed to the land that had not been harvested and offered a very high purchase price. Chapter 177. No, we're not selling. We're still keeping them for planting next year. Isn't that right, young master? The leader of the farmers refused without even thinking. He turned around and asked Zhang Xiaobao. The other people who were cooking also supported this. Indeed, they couldn't sell them. In the past, 1 mu of land could produce about 3 dan of land. Now, the best land could produce about 5 dan of land. The worst land could produce more than 2 dan of land. This was money. What was in the land was no longer food, but seeds. Usually, a dough of millet would cost 4 or 5 won. A dough of rice would cost more than 10 won, close to 20 won. Although the rice hadn't been shelled, the price was already too low. Why would they buy it at a high price? Who were they trying to fool? Zhang Xiaobao already had an idea at this time, but he couldn't say it out loud. He could only pretend to be stupid. He looked at the people around him with a smile and said, "I don't know either. I'll go home and ask the housekeeper." As he spoke, he pulled Wang Wan and ran home. At this time, the boss Lai Zi and the others knew that the two little guys were actually the children of the main family in Zhuangzi. No wonder so many people were protecting them. Lai Zi was especially scared. He almost caused trouble just now. He went to other people's Zhuangzi and bullied other people's children. If the farmers beat him up and sent him to the government, he would only lose and not win. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ran away. The boss and his group of 12 people didn't know what to do. They originally wanted to test the price first. After all, except for a few places that were affected by drought, there was a bumper harvest everywhere. The price of grain would definitely be low. If they wanted to buy husked rice for 10 won per dough, the price would be a lot. They didn't expect that the farmers were not stupid. They knew that such good rice could be used for planting. This was troublesome. Under the covetous gaze of the chef, the 12 people felt uncomfortable. It was the boss who spoke. The price is negotiable. Your zhuangzi is not bad. Shall we look around? He was testing the farmers to see if they would give in. If they didn't, he could only go back. Their zhuangzi was their territory. The farmers didn't continue to pay attention to the dozen people. They turned back and continued to cook. At this moment, the sky was almost dark. The people on the ground were pulling out the harvested grain. After they finished, they would come back to eat. They didn't have so much time to waste on these people. Sister Lame, give me a bowl of water first. I'm thirsty. Let me smell it. This meat. Some of the faster workers had already come over by this time. Among them, a young man in his 20s shouted from afar. Drink. You only know how to be lazy. Here, drink. You won't be able to eat after drinking. The lame woman poured a bowl of water and slammed it on the table. After cursing, she went back to work. Rascal was the kind of person who wouldn't let go of an opportunity to sow discord. When he heard other people talking, he thought that the opportunity had come, so he acted like a good person and reminded them. Shut up. What do you know? Sister Lame's leg was injured because she helped her parents-in-law block a tree that was blown down by the wind. Who doesn't know that Zhuangzi has the best lame daughter-in-law? Who are you? Where did you come from? The young man glared at the lad with dissatisfaction. He rolled up his sleeves and was about to go forward. Lad, get back here. If it weren't for your sister, I would have kicked you out long ago. You cause trouble for me all day. At this moment, the farmer wished he could kick the lad back home. He glared at him and called him back. As soon as the lad came in front of him, he was slapped. After slapping him, the farmer said to the farmer, Lad, you don't need to be disciplined. Young man, do your thing. We just came over to take a look and want to collect some grain. Young man, why didn't you go home and come here? The farmer was too busy and didn't have the energy. The young man didn't want to pay attention to them. He went to the basin at the side to wash up and wiped himself with a cloth. He took a wooden bowl and a pair of chopsticks and asked someone to fill it with rice and vegetables. When he squatted down and was about to eat, he said, Go home. The farmer is taking care of your meals. You'd better leave quickly. Our zhuangzi is different from other places. We don't sell grain even if we want to buy it. He felt it was very normal when he said it, but to the 12 people it was unusual. Some zhuangzi only took care of their meals when they collected the grain and stored it in the warehouse. They didn't expect that they would take care of their meals when they were harvesting here. There was so much meat and a few side dishes. The rice wasn't the usual millet, but white and shiny rice. Smelling the smell, they were hungry. Hurry up, Xiaobao, do you think we should sell it or not? We've been targeted. Where did the farmer come from? Could there be a prince behind him? Wang Wan said as she followed Xiaobao home. Her words were filled with worry. What prince? Do you think those princes are stupid? Whose territory is this? It's Li Qingyi's. His son lives next to us. Which prince would be so stupid to come to Zhuangzi directly? If it's really a prince, he will definitely go to the Li family's Zhuangzi first, and then let the Li family's people in Zhuangzi come forward. Seems like someone knows how much we produce. This is a good thing. I didn't want to sell it at first, but now I've decided to sell it. I'll sell it to anyone who wants to buy it. I'll let the housekeeper tell him that we don't need to harvest anymore. Let the people in Zhuangzi work on the mountain and leave the seeds for our own use. Zhang Xiaobao was running in a hurry, so his voice was intermittent. They were only a few dozen meters away from the courtyard. They would arrive soon. By the time Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan reached the door, the gatekeeper had already seen them from the balcony on the second floor. He hurriedly ran down and opened the door. His body flashed out as he vigilantly looked behind Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He shouted, Little Gongzi, hurry up, I'll block them. Why are you blocking it? No one chased us when we ran back. You thought Cuckoo and I were in danger. Why didn't you ring the bell? Remember, no matter whether your judgment is accurate or not, ring the bell if you think there's danger. You should also come out to guard the courtyard every time. Make it a habit. Call the housekeeper. Zhang Xiaobao ran closer and saw the nervous expression on the gatekeeper's face. He was moved but also a little angry. The gatekeeper was not raised for nothing. He had a bell but didn't use it. The gatekeeper lowered his head and listened to the young master's words. He smiled and ran to find the housekeeper. After a while, Steward Zhang jogged over. When he saw Zhang Xiaobao, he asked respectfully, "Young master, what happened? I heard that you two ran back." Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand to indicate that he was really fine. He told Steward Zhang his plan. "Nothing. I just asked you to do something. Now it's good. Saves manpower." As Steward Zhang listened, his mouth opened and his eyes were fixed. When Zhang Xiaobao finished, he asked, "Young master, do you really want to do this? It's a bit too much. Just do it. Who are you tricking? It's just labor. People who work are the most lovable. Do you understand?" Before Zhang Xiaobao could speak, Wang Wan's voice interrupted. "Got it. I'll arrange it now. I'll let the people in the market know about it tonight, especially the place to buy food and drinks. Young master, my son has nothing to do today. Why don't he follow you?" Steward Zhang agreed and also promoted his son to Zhang Xiaobao. "How can he have nothing to do? Study well first. It'll be convenient for you to use in the future. Steward Zhang, your family has been the housekeeper of the Zhang family for generations. It won't be bad in the future." Zhang Xiaobao reassured Steward Zhang. "Got it, young master. I'm leaving." Steward Zhang was finally relieved after hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words. His son could continue to be the housekeeper in the future. It was the blessing of 8 lifetimes to be able to work for the young master. "Xiaobao, 100 copper coins per caddy of seeds is too expensive. The farmers usually keep the seeds for themselves. It's impossible for our seeds to grow as many as 4 dan per mu. The most important thing is to sterilize the seeds at the beginning, then throw the seedlings, good manure, and the wheat rice stones in the field." Wang Wan was a little worried after hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words. If they really did it this way, they would earn a little too much. According to the weight here, 1 dan of rice would be around 80 caddies. 2 zhuangzi had more than 3,000 mu of land. On average, 1 dan of rice would yield 3 dan per mu, of which rice would take up 2/5. If they calculated it carefully, they would earn 14,000 to 5,000 taels of silver. It was too frightening. The most important thing was that Zhang Xiaobao would sell it with the shell. Of course, if you don't sell it, people won't buy it with the shell. I know what you're thinking. That's just a theory. Theories are usually used by swindlers to swindle people. How can we sell so much? With this price, how many fields can we plant with 1 gene of seeds? If we have a good harvest, won't we be able to earn more? Our seeds can yield 4 dan per mu. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said to Wang Wan. He even winked at her. Wang Wan curled her lips. "Don't say this to me. Burning newspapers in the grave. Who are you trying to fool? Your place can yield 4 dan per mu. How can the grains produced be 4 dan per mu? If other places can produce so much, won't they be able to produce 6 dan per mu if they plant here? If it's that good, why would we still need hybrid rice? What if some of the seeds mutated? You can't deny that, right? Let's go. We'll go to the swimming pool at the back to take a bath. After a nap, we'll start studying. What should we study today? Seems like it's already spring and autumn. My head hurts." Zhang Xiaobao complained and walked to the swimming pool at the back. At this time, the temperature of the water was just right for him and Wang Wan to take a bath. "This is nothing. I heard that we have to study the Book of Changes. But I know that when this thing came out there was only one picture, which was the Xiantian 8 trigrams. Why didn't I see anything from it?" Wang Wan also complained. The things that people learned in this era were too complicated. "Now that you mention it, I think it's an alien civilization. Now that you mention it, I think it should be from an alien civilization. Look at the 8 diagrams. It's nothing more than broken and connected. If it's broken, it's a broken circuit, and if it's connected, it's a channel. If it's 2 connected, it's a direct current. If it's 3 connected, it's naturally 380 volts. If it's 1 connected, it's a broken circuit, and if it's 1 connected, it's a broken circuit, and if it's 1 connected. Zhang Xiaobao explained to Wang Wan seriously. Wang Wan laughed so hard that she held her stomach. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.